Chapter 241, Find out the cause of Song Lusher's death. Lawyer Zhao, you give me the camera, I'll record it, and then you'll seal the relevant video materials. Lin Chen said to the lawyer who was filming. The letter must have been written by Song Lusher, and the handwriting can be identified, but when it comes to 300 billion yuan in assets, more caution is still needed. He can't let people suspect that he has changed the content. Okay. Lawyer Zhao gave Lin Chen the camera. Lin Chen clearly filmed the content of the letter, which Lawyer Zhao did not need to know for the time being. Lawyer Zhao, you go seal it now. Lu Feng, give me your phone and record it as well. Cheng Xiaojun, please follow Lawyer Zhao. Lin Chen said. Okay. Cheng Xiaojun, holding Lin Xiaoxi, followed Lawyer Zhao to seal the information. He had to make sure that Lawyer Zhao would not peek. After the seal is placed, it will be difficult for Lawyer Zhao and the others to peek, and if they do, they will bear serious consequences. Lin Chen took Lu Feng's phone and took a few shots as well. Then he took out his own phone and recorded the same thing. With three parties recording, there is absolutely no problem with his own data, and at least one of Lu Feng's data will be intact. Mr. Lin, it's done. The memory card is sealed. The surveillance will record 24 hours a day. The money given by Mr. Song is enough to continue sealing for 10 years. Lawyer Zhao and the others returned to report. Lin Chen put the letter back in the envelope and placed it in his pocket. The next second, the envelope arrived in the system space. Lawyer Zhao, you guys keep secrets. If this gets out, you might get into trouble. Lin Chen finished speaking and left with Lu Feng and the others. Cheng Xiaojun drove quickly to the Song family. On the Song family side, Song family members from other cities rushed back one after another, and some important friends of Song Lao also came over. Song Zong, I'll be there soon. When he was about to arrive, Lin Chen called Song Qingchuan. After hanging up the phone, Song Qingchuan said to Song Xiai's brother, Lin Xiao is almost here, I'll go and greet him. Good. Song Xiai's nodded. He knew that Lin Chen was Lin Yu, and that Lin Chen's good position was not because of his relationship with Song Xiai's, but because of his own strength. It was Lin Chen, the one who killed thousands of people, who killed Dad. Song Qingchuan, you still greeted him, what were you thinking? Dad's corpse is still warm, he should come here and kneel down and confess his crime. Song Shirkon's wife snapped. Song Qingchuan looked at her and said lightly, second sister-in-law, Dad looked up to Lin Xiao because Lin Xiao was worthy of Dad's high regard. You'd better be a little polite to Lin Xiao. Song Shirkon's wife angrily said, polite? If it were something else, I would be very polite to him, but Dad is dead, how can I be polite about this kind of thing? Warner is also at fault for this. You want us to be polite to him, and you should also be more lenient with Warner, right? Song Qingchuan's forehead veins bulged. You hoof. Song Qingchuan snorted and left the room. He quickly walked to the front door of the Song family mansion, and Lin Chen's car just happened to come by, and Song Qingchuan went up to greet him. Lin Xiao, you've worked hard. Song Qingchuan shook hands with Lin Chen and said, Lin Xiao, let me send Cici to the guest room to sleep. Lin Xiao's Cici then woke up dazedly. She rubbed her eyes and said, Uncle Song, why are you here? This is Uncle Song's house. Song Qingchuan smiled and said, Lin Xiao Cici, Daddy has something to do, can Uncle Wei take you for a while? Lin Xiaoqian nodded. Cheng Xiaojun carefully took Lin Xiaoqian in his arms. Mr. Lin, if Xiaoqian falls asleep later, I'll hold her in the car while you go about your business. Okay. Lin Chen nodded. The fact that Tian Lang was able to assign Lu Feng Cheng Xiaojun to come over meant that they were still very trustworthy. Their character and personal abilities would not be bad. Please, Lin Xiao. Song Qingchuan said. He and Lin Chen walked towards the Song family. After no one was nearby, Song Qingchuan whispered, Lin brother, be careful. I'm afraid my brother and sister-in-law don't mean any harm. My sister-in-law just cursed you. It seems she wants to blame you and Warner. Lin Chen nodded slightly. Soon they arrived at the room where Song Lusher's body was. The morning hall had not yet been set up, but the weather was hot, so Song Lusher's body had already been placed in an ice coffin. Lin Chen, you still dare to come to our Song family. Your cooking killed my father, you murderer, executioner, you have to pay for my father's life. Song Shirkon's wife snapped. Lin Chen looked directly into Song Shirkon's wife's eyes, and Song Shirkon's wife felt a little guilty when he looked at her. By causing such a scene, she naturally hoped to get a bigger share of the family assets. They were willing to offend Lin Chen and his friends for this reason. Lin Chen's ability to gain the respect of the Song family was naturally not simple, but with the Song family's 300 billion assets, the temptation was too great. Song family head, let me take a look at old Song, Lin Chen said. Song Shiai's nodded, and Song Shirkang said sternly, hold on. Lin Chen, although my father values you, you are likely to be involved in my father's death, so what makes you qualified to examine him? What ability do you have, and what position do you have to examine him? I suggest calling the police. Lin Chendao said, you can call the police if you want, but I suggest an autopsy because I'm quite good at medicine. His ancient medical skills are all-encompassing, including autopsies. Brother, I suggest letting Lin Xiao take a look, Song Qingxuan said. Song Shiai's nodded, and Song Shirkang didn't say anything. Song Shiai's agreed with both of them, so it was useless for him to object. The lid of the ice coffin was opened. Lin Chen saw the corpse of Song Lao inside. For a moment, Lin Chen felt a mixture of emotions. Not long ago, he had attended Song Lao's birthday banquet, and so soon, Song Lao had died. Without moving a muscle, Lin Chen just carefully observed with his eyes. It's fine, just close it. Song family head, are there any leftovers of Song Lao's food? Lin Chen asked. Song Shiai said, the bowls have already been washed, but my father would keep samples of every meal, and this time is no exception. Lin Chen, I want to take a look. Okay. Song Shiai asked someone to bring 2 food samples over. Lin Xiao, this one is from before the meal, and this one is from after the meal, Song Shiai said. Lin Chen leaned in to take a closer look. He was only a master-level practitioner of ancient medical techniques, but his cooking skills were mythical. He knew exactly what color and taste his own food should be. After looking at the food and combining it with the autopsy he just performed on Song's body, Lin Chen had already formed a general judgment in his mind. There was really something fishy about Song's death. Song Shirkang's wife snapped, Lin, have you finished looking? If you have, then give us the Song family an explanation. No matter how powerful you are no match for the law. No match for justice and the hearts of the people. Lin Chen didn't bother to respond to her. He said to Song Shiai's, Master Song, before the meal, food samples were kept. How many people came into contact with the food during the process before the meal? There were only 3 nannies. Song Shiai said, but the surveillance showed that everything was normal. And they have all taken care of my father for at least 5 years. Lin Chen said, can I meet them? Of course. Song Shiai nodded. Chapter 242 Lin Chen's discovery. The 3 nannies quickly came before Lin Chen. The youngest of them was only in her 30s, while the oldest was estimated to be close to 50. Hello, Mr. Lin. The 3 nannies bowed at the same time. They had met Lin Chen before and knew that Lin Chen was Song Lao's guest of honor, and Song Lao was very polite to Lin Chen. Lin Chen smiled and said, don't be nervous, I'm not a cop, I just want to have a casual chat with you. Mr. Song must have treated you very well, just tell me everything I ask. The 3 nannies nodded. Lin Chen looked at the youngest nanny and said, what perfume are you wearing? It's quite a light and elegant scent, I'll buy a bottle of the same brand when I get a chance. The nanny was taken aback. Mr. Lin, it's a very common brand. Lin Chen, can I take a look at it? Of course. The nanny went to her room and brought the perfume. Lin Chen opened it and sniffed. The nanny nervously asked, Mr. Lin, is this perfume poisonous? I've been using it for a long time and I'm fine. Lin Chen shook his head, this perfume is not poisonous, but your bottle is not ordinary. It contains a special ingredient, and this kind of thing in it can cause Song Laosher to have an allergic reaction. Ha! But I've been using it for a long time. The nanny explained anxiously. Lin Chen waved his hand, I'm not finished yet. Because it's just a common allergy, normally Song Laosher would be fine. But when Song Laosher eats more and is more excited, the allergy symptoms will be much stronger. His body is already on the verge of collapse, so. The nanny's face turned pale. I didn't know it would be like this. If I knew, I wouldn't have bought this brand. Lin Chen said, this is not your problem. This bottle of perfume itself should not contain that substance. This perfume of yours should not be expensive. That kind of quality is very expensive. Someone has done something behind the scenes. The food is fine, and Song Laoren has not been poisoned. His allergic symptoms will subside, and an autopsy will be difficult to detect. Quite a clever tactic. Song Lauren's condition, according to Lin Chen's estimate, a normal autopsy will definitely find that Song Lauren was old, ate too much, and his body could not handle it and he died. If so, he will not be in prison, but Song Lusher's death is still somewhat related to him. Song Shirkang and the others can say that he knows medicine and knew that Song Lusher was not in good health, but he did not warn him. Song Wan will also be affected. Song Qingxuan may be driven out of the Song family. Song Shiais, as the head of the family, naturally also has responsibility, and the position of head of the family may fall to Song Shirkang. Song Shiai said with a solemn expression, "Lin Xiao, how certain are you that this was not an accident but a premeditated murder?" Lin Chen picked up the perfume in his hand and said, "I don't think this bottle of perfume should cost more than 500 yuan, right? There should be less than 1 gram of the substance inside. There should be at least 4 or 5 grams in here." The crowd was discussing this, saying that at tens of thousands of yuan per gram, 4 or 5 grams would be 40 or 50,000 yuan, and that the perfume company would have to be crazy to do this. If this is confirmed, it's murder. Call the police right away. If this is true, we have to find the murderer. Song Shirkang stood forward and said sternly. His wife supported the freezer and cried again. From the outside, it seemed that she was the most filial of the younger generation. Song Shiai said, "Mr. Lin, thank you. The police will intervene next, and thank you for your help." Lin Chen nodded. He guessed that it wouldn't be so easy to find out what happened. It's easier to determine that there's something wrong with the perfume, but it's not easy to determine who did it. The culprit behind this is very meticulous. If a top doctor comes today, they don't have such a broad knowledge base and may very well miss the truth. By the time that happens, the autopsy will not find anything either. Even if the perfume is found. The perfume itself is non-toxic. And the nanny used it every day, so who would bother to check this? If you want to check, is it necessary to check all the things in the entire Song family one by one? Mr. Lin, I'm sorry. My father treated us all very well. My wife just misunderstood you. I deeply apologize for her actions. Song Shirkang said to Lin Chen. Lin Chen said indifferently, "I understand. It's normal to overreact a bit after just losing a loved one." It didn't take long for the police to arrive. One of the policemen asked Lin Chen something. Lin Chen said to Song Shiai's, Song family head, "I'm staying at the nearest Four Seasons hotel. If you have any questions, you can call me. It's getting late, so I need to take Cece to bed." Song Shiai's, "Mr. Lin, thank you again. If it wasn't for you, my father would have died for no reason. I'll arrange for someone to take you there." Lin Chen shook his head and said, "Song family head, no need. I have a car, I'll just take the car I came in to go to the hotel." Lin Chen finished speaking and left. Chang Xiaojun was holding Lin Xiaoxi in his arms in the car. Lin Xiaoxi had fallen asleep, and it was already past 9 p.m. "Cece, Daddy's got you." Lin Chen took Lin Xiaoxi from Chang Xiaojun's hands. He spoke while hugging her. Lin Xiaoxi's eyelids twitched, but Lin Chen's voice made her feel at ease, and she didn't wake up. Go to the Four Seasons Hotel. Lin Chen, Chang Xiaojun, and Lu Feng left. Lin Chen pondered in silence. Old Song had given him 0.5% of the family wealth, and the other 5.5% he had been asked to distribute to Song Shiais and the others. Since the murderer had not been found, he was not in a position to distribute it for the time being. Lu Feng said, "Mr. Lin, you'd better not get involved in the Song family affairs. Behind the feuds of the wealthy, there are sometimes very cruel struggles. It may bring you danger." Lin Chen shook his head and said, "I can't just ignore it. At the birthday banquet, Mr. Song used his personal connections to ask those big shots to take care of me, so how can I stay out of it?" He hadn't told him what Mr. Song had written in the letter. He now had the power to distribute more than half of the Song family's wealth. And he would get 15 billion yuan in the end. How could he stay out of it? Lu Feng said, "How long do you plan to stay here? If it's going to be a long time, we'll need more people to come over." Lin Chen, "We have to attend Song Lao's funeral." The car arrived at the hotel in 20 minutes. Lu Feng and the others first checked the room and made sure that everything was fine before leaving. "Shishi, wake up. You sweated a lot, take a shower and go back to sleep." Lin Chen kissed Lin Xiaoxi and said. Lin Xiaoxi woke up dazedly, "Dad, are we home yet?" "Where's Mommy?" "We're at the hotel. Dad will wash you and then you can go back to sleep," Lin Chen said. It wasn't very late, so it wouldn't affect her sleep to take a bath first. Lin Xiaoxi finished taking her bath quickly. Dad, I miss mommy. I want to video chat with mommy. Lin Xiaoxi felt much better after taking a bath. Lin Chen dialed Su Mengyao video chat. Su Mengyao was in the bathroom taking a shower at the moment, with her hair all wet. Honey, I'm taking a shower, you can call back for the video later. Su Mengyao said coyly. You could only see her head and neck in the video, and you couldn't see anything else, but Su Mengyao still felt shy. Lin Chen, honey, that's all I have to say. Cici misses you, it's so late, she'll go to sleep after talking to you. Su Mengyao. Chapter 243, Song Shikang's Divide and Conquer. Su Mengyao, Sisai, it's late, so you should go to sleep obediently and let daddy tell you a story. If you don't go to sleep, there won't be time for a story. Lin Xiaoxi nodded. Su Mengyao hung up the video call quickly. She let out a sigh of relief. Lin Xiaoxi fell asleep 10 minutes later. Su Mengyao sent a message to Lin Chen, honey, how's it going? Is everything okay on your end? Lin Chen had booked a business suite. There was a small living room outside the bedroom. He went to the living room and called Su Mengyao on video. Su Mengyao had finished showering and was sitting on the bed in silk pajamas. Honey. Su Mengyao said sweetly when she saw Lin Chen. Lin Chen looked at Su Mengyao with lecherous eyes, and Su Mengyao said coquettishly, hubby, what's with those eyes? You want to eat me up with those eyes? Lin Chen laughed. A light blush appeared on Su Mengyao's face. She said coyly, hubby, I'm talking about business. What's the situation like over at the Song family? Lin Chen told her about the situation at the Song family, but he didn't tell Su Mengyao about the content of the will over the phone. Su Mengyao said, husband, from what you say, there is a high possibility that Song Shikang's wife was behind this, and Song Shikang may also have known about it. They are really despicable. Old Song was not mean to them at all. Lin Chen, they are different from ordinary families. The Song family has assets of 300 billion yuan, and the benefits are too great. Husband, feuds among the wealthy are very cruel. Just stay out of it, and hurry back after Old Song's funeral. Su Mengyao said worriedly. Lin Chen smiled and said, don't worry, honey, I'll be fine. Song Laosher has all the power to distribute his assets. Besides, the state won't let anything happen to him. Song Shikang and the others dare to do something dirty, but they wouldn't dare to use guns. The nature of the situation would be different if they did. As long as they don't use guns, what could possibly happen to him? Are the Song family going to get the police to arrest him? Honey, I know you're awesome, but you still have to be careful, Su Mengyao said. Lin Chen smiled and said, don't worry, we're not married yet, and I haven't even had my wedding night yet, so I'll definitely be careful. Ha, I'm glad you know. Su Mengyao said coquettishly. The two of them chatted for a while, and Su Mengyao reluctantly hung up the video call. She had to get up early tomorrow to go to a meeting outside the city. Usually, Su Guofeng would run these kinds of meetings, but now that Lin Chen had taken Lin Xiaoxi away from the Magic City, she could handle it. In the middle of the night, the Song family's funeral hall was set up. Drip. Song Shiai's phone rang. He answered the phone, and the person on the other end said, Mr. Song, the results are in. There is indeed something wrong with the perfume. There is a very rare substance in it. This kind of thing will volatilize and become undetectable over time. Song Shiai said in a deep voice, this can cause allergies? Not necessarily, everyone is different. But after analyzing your father's situation, we determined that this substance will indeed cause an allergic reaction in him. The person on the other end of the phone was humane. I understand, thank you. Song Shiai hung up the phone. He told Song Shikang and Song Qingxuan about the situation. Song Qingxuan angrily said, Big brother, this is murder. The person behind the scenes even wants Wanner and Lin Chen to take the blame. Song Shikang said, Big brother, third brother, I know you suspect me because I might benefit from this. But think about it, is it possible that an outside force is trying to tear the Song family apart? The enemy's goal may be to turn our brothers against each other. Song Shiai nodded slightly. He knew that the most likely possibility was Song Shikang and his wife, but the possibility Song Shikang mentioned also existed. The Song family had many enemies at home and abroad. They would offend other forces in the development process, and after they developed, many people would definitely be jealous. People who pretended to be brothers and sisters could all be enemies. Brother, did father leave a will? Song Shikang asked. Song Shiai shook his head, I don't think so. Dad passed away suddenly, so he probably didn't have time to leave a will. Song Shikang, hasn't a lawyer contacted you yet? Well. Song Shiai nodded. Song Shikang let out a quiet sigh of relief. If no lawyer had called after so long, it was most likely that their father hadn't left any will. Without a will, it would be a case of each man for himself. His daughter-in-law's family is quite powerful, and even though Song Shiai is the head of the family, Song Shikang is not at all intimidated by him. As for Song Qingchuan, Song Shikang doesn't take him seriously. Eldest brother, third brother, there's something I want to talk about. Although Dad wasn't killed by Lin Chen, after all, it was the food he cooked that made the situation worse. I suggest that we distance ourselves from him in the future. Song Shikang said sternly. Song Shiai's dad values Lin Chen because he deserves to be valued, and it's not good for us to alienate him. Song Shikang said, brother, as far as I know, Lin Chen is a very good cook, which has allowed him to make a lot of friends, and he has already made some friends. Isn't that why Dad values him? That's all he's found out, and he doesn't know that Lin Chen is Lin Yu. It's not that easy to find out with a national blockade. Song Qingchuan said, second brother, what about Wanner if you distance yourself from him? Song Shikang said, is Wanner eating normally now? If so, is there still a need for you to get along with him? Third brother, he is on good terms with you, what do you want? Do you want to use him to compete with Big Brother for the family headship? A strange look flashed in Song Shiai's eyes. Lin Chen was very capable, and would become even more so in the future. His relationship with Lin Chen was also fine, but not as good as Song Qingchuan's. He would definitely not make Lin Chen his enemy. With Lin Chen's calligraphy, Lin Chen must have registered it. Song Shiai was thinking about strengthening his relationship with Lin Chen. As long as his relationship with Lin Chen was also good, there was no way Lin Chen could help Song Qingchuan seize his position as the family head. Second brother, don't talk nonsense. My relationship with Lin Xiao is also good. Song Shiai said sternly. Song Qingchuan looked at his second brother, and disappointment appeared in his eyes. In the past, he thought his second brother was quite nice, but now in his eyes, his second brother is becoming more and more unfamiliar. Big brother, I just mentioned it. Third brother, don't take it personally, I didn't mean that if you and Lin Chen get along well, you will definitely take the position of the family head from Big Brother. Song Shikang said calmly. He sneered in his heart, he just didn't believe that if the seed of doubt was planted, Song Shiai wouldn't have thoughts in his heart in the future. Lin Chen's connections may become stronger and stronger, and the help Song Qingchuan receives may also become stronger and stronger. Even if the Song family becomes stronger, if the family head is not himself, how meaningful will it be for Song Shiai? Second brother, don't say any more. Let's work together to hold Dad's funeral. Song Shiai said sternly. Song Shikang and Song Qingchuan nodded. In the blink of an eye, it was the next morning. Lin Xiaoqian opened her eyes and said innocently, Dad, it wasn't fun there yesterday, can we go somewhere else? Of course we can. Lin Chen kissed Lin Xiaoqian. The condolences tomorrow, he doesn't need to go there today. The last time he went to the Song family was for the birthday banquet, and this time he's going to the Song family again, and he didn't take Lin Xiaoqian to have fun. Cici, where do you want to go to have fun? Lin Chen asked. Lin Xiaoqian said happily, Dad, I'm fine, I'm happy to be with you. Chapter 244, I have the will. Lin Chen patted the bump on Lin Xiaoqian's head. The bump was still there, but it had become much smaller and was not very obvious. Dad, the bump on my head is still there, so I can't go out and play, right? Lin Xiaoqian said in a sulky voice. Lin Chen laughed and said, you can go out and play. But Dad still needs to find some time to give you a massage today. Get up quickly, or you won't have much time to play. Soon Lin Chen finished washing Lin Xiaoxi. As for himself, he had long since woken up and washed up. Cici, let's go to the amusement park, Dad. Lin Chen smiled. After thinking about it, he realized that attractions and the like were actually not very attractive to children. An amusement park was much more attractive to children than individual attractions. Lin Xiaoxi's eyes lit up. After all, she had never been to the amusement park here. Soon Lin Chen and the others went out. Lu Feng and Shang Xiaojun continued to follow Lin Chen, and they were Lin Chen's obvious bodyguards. There were also two small teams in the shadows. Those two teams were all 3 people, and they all carried sniper rifles. Mr. Lin, this is yours. Lin Chen and the others got into the car, and Lu Feng gave Lin Chen a file bag. "What is this?" Lin Chen asked. "Lu Feng, it was brought by our people this morning. I don't know what's inside, I haven't opened it." Lin Chen opened it, and inside was his medical license. This has been processed for a while. Su Zhongding didn't give it to him, so if someone else asks him for treatment, he can tell them that he doesn't have a medical license yet. This is a good reason to refuse. It seems that Uncle Su knows about the Song family. Or Tian Lang knows that Uncle Su has already done it for me. Lin Chen thought to himself. Song Lao is dead. He might need this thing. He hasn't treated Song Lao, so there is no illegal practice of medicine, but having this can still avoid some trouble. "Dad, what is this?" "There is a picture of you on it." Lin Xiaoqian asked in a baby voice. Lin Chen smiled and said, "This is Dad's medical license. With this, Dad can treat other people. Dad is the most amazing doctor." Lin Xiaoqian said sweetly. Lin Chen put the medical license in his bag, and the next second it appeared in the system space. "This thing is quite important and must not be lost." "Mr. Lin, where are you going?" Chang Xiaojun asked. Lin Chen said, "Let's find the best indoor playground. Today I'll arrange a one-day playground tour for Shishi." "Okay." Chang Xiaojun nodded. Lin Chen gently massaged Lin Xiaoxi. Before he knew it, the day was over. Lin Chen massaged Lin Xiaoqian on the way to and from the car, whenever she got tired and needed a rest, and also during her nap at noon. Lin Chen gained a lot of experience from the ancient medical techniques. Unfortunately, this wave of experience was almost over. If he gained more experience tonight, he probably wouldn't have any experience left to massage her tomorrow. Sure enough, he gained more than an hour of experience tonight, and the system's voice sounded in Lin Chen's head. "Host, Lin Xiaoqian's bruises have completely healed, so there is no need for any more massages." "System, can't you consolidate it a little more?" "System." "Host, you can continue, but there is no experience left." Lin Chen paused and asked in his mind, "System, how many hours of experience have I had in ancient medical skills?" "System, 52 hours. Lin Chen's face revealed a faint smile. This wave of experience has increased quite a bit, and his ancient medical skills have also improved quite a bit. Ancient medical skills are only 8 hours away from being a grandmaster. Knock, knock. Lin Xiaoqian had only fallen asleep for a short while when there was a knock on the door. Lin Chen went to open the door, and outside was Song Shiais. Song Shiais had already learned from one of the bigwigs that they had been asked to look after Lin Chen at Song Lasho's birthday banquet. He had not known this before. He had thought that his father had only introduced Lin Chen to those bigwigs. "Song family head, please come in," Lin Chen said. He had already received news from Song Shiais that he would be coming over. "Thank you." Song Shiais sat down in the small living room outside the bedroom, and Lin Chen also sat down. "Master Song, is there anything I can help you with?" Song Shiais, "Lin Xiao, I have 2 things to ask you. First, I want to ask you to take my pulse for me. I'm afraid that I will also die in a strange way." "No problem." Lin Chen agreed at once. Song Shiais had helped the Wu family before, but they didn't have a close relationship at the time, and Song Shiais' attitude towards him was still fine afterwards. Besides, he didn't look at the monk's face, he looked at the Buddha's face. Song Lusher's face had to be given. Lin Chen quickly took Song Shiai's pulse. "Mr. Song, you don't have any other problems, but you have some kidney deficiency." "I have kidney deficiency? This shouldn't be possible." Song Shiais coughed lightly. Who would a man admit to having kidney deficiency? Even though Song Shiais is in his 50s, he is unwilling to admit it. "I can cure it," Lin Chen said indifferently. Song Shiais hurriedly said, "Lin Xiao, I'm weak. I really am a bit weak, so please prescribe some medicine for me. Let's wait until after the funeral." "What's the second thing?" Lin Chen asked. Song Shiais stood up and bowed deeply. "Lin Xiao, I apologize for offending the Wu family before. I hope Lin Xiao won't hold it against you." Lin Chen was a little surprised. Did Song Shiais know about the will? Why did he suddenly do this? Song Shiais said with emotion, "Today, when the big boss came over, I learned that my father had asked them to take care of you, and I realized my father's good intentions. My father was very good at judging people. He trusted you so much, and I trust you too. If you need my help, just let me know. The Song family has connections both at home and abroad. Lin Chen nodded. It seems that Song Shiais is willing to continue maintaining the friendship. That's good. Song family head, how is the case progressing? Song Shiais frowned and said, what can be determined is that this was a well-planned murder, but who the murderer is difficult to find out. There were no other fingerprints on the perfume bottle, and the suspicion of the nanny has been ruled out. Too many people have come and gone recently. There are surveillance cameras in some parts of the house, but not in most places. Lin Chen was not at all surprised. This is all expected. How can someone who does such a thing be easily caught? Has Master Song made any moves? Lin Chen asked. Song Shiais was silent for a while and said, he wanted us to distance ourselves from you together yesterday, but Lao San and I didn't agree. Lin Chen, how many of the Song family shares does he own? Song Shiais thought for a while and said, Lin Xiao, this is originally a family secret that belongs to us, but you are not an outsider, so there is nothing wrong with telling you. Our Song family is a large family, and many people have a share in the family shares. Except for most of the shares in my father's hands, the rest of the shares are relatively scattered. I am now the head of the family and own 10% of the shares, while the second and third sons each own 5%. 5% of 300 billion is 15 billion. It's the same as what Song Lao gave Lin Chen. Lin Chen, have you guys talked about the shares left by Song Lao, and roughly how they will be distributed? Song Shiais frowned and said, what the second son means is that our father just died, so we won't divide the inheritance for now. It feels like he has an idea. Lin Chen said, Song family head, you don't have to worry about this, old Master Song left you a will. I have the will in my hands. Song Shiais looked at Lin Chen in shock. His old father left the will with Lin Chen? Chapter 245 Lin Chen, you are excellent at calligraphy and painting? Mr. Lin, can I take a look? Song Shiais said nervously. Lin Chen took out his phone and opened a photo. This is a photo of the will, take a look. Song Shiais looked at it carefully. He was sure that this was his father's handwriting, and besides, this will had a notary seal on it. With Lin Chen's abilities, he could not possibly have made this fake. Master Song, can you recognize Song Lao's handwriting? Lin Chen asked. Song Shiais nodded, this will is left by my father. Mr. Lin, my father mentioned that 50% of it goes to you, and I fully agree with this. The value of this part is 15 billion, we can give you the property or give you the cash directly. Lin Chen smiled lightly, no problem. But there is no rush to distribute the will. First, let Song Lao you rest in peace, and then find the person behind the scenes. You are the head of the family, and what belongs to you will definitely not be less. Song Shiais let out a sigh of relief. It seems that this trip was the right one. He never imagined that his father would let Lin Chen distribute the inheritance. If he got confused and got involved with Song Shikong against Lin Chen, he would be in big trouble. Mr. Lin, before he died, my father gave us a test. Song Shiais said with emotion. Lin Chen, Master Song, I will not let Song Lao down and will try to distribute it fairly. Those who deserve it will not get less, and those who don't deserve it won't get any. Song Shiais nodded, his father also believed that you can uphold justice. Mr. Lin, I will find the murderer as soon as possible. Soon, Song Shiais left. He was in a pretty good mood. Since Lin Chen had a will, Song Shikong and the others could make all the noise they wanted. The louder they made it, the higher the possibility of exposure. Cici, wake up. Lin Chen went to the bedroom and woke up Lin Xiaoxi. He still had to go to the Song family to pay his condolences. An hour later, Lin Chen and the others arrived at the Song family. There was sad music playing, and wreaths were placed outside the morning hall. The guests present bowed solemnly one after the other. Finally, it was Lin Chen's turn. Lin Chen approached solemnly, without Lin Xiaoqian by his side. Lin Xiaoqian and Chang Xiaojun were waiting outside. Lin, you go ahead. My father died after eating the food you cooked. Don't pretend to be compassionate. Song Shikong's wife suddenly said angrily. Song Shiais knew that Song Laoren had asked the bigwigs to take care of Lin Chen, but Song Shikong didn't know, and neither did his wife. She is causing a scene to drag Song Qingxuan down with her. Song Qingxuan ate the food made by Lin Chen, but the food was sent by Song Wan. Shut up! Song Shiais shouted at Song Shikong's wife. Second brother, control your wife. Lin Xiao's food was for Wanner. He helped Wanner, and Lin Xiao was a friend of his father. He came to pay his condolences. Can our Song family be so rude? Song Shikong's face changed slightly. Song Shiais actually refuted his wife without mercy. After all, they were brothers, and Lin Chen was an outsider. His wife's family was also very powerful. This situation made Song Shikong keenly aware that something was wrong. There might be something he didn't know, or Song Shiais knew something. Lin Chen bowed respectfully. Song Shiais also returned the greeting. Song Qingxuan was not there, he was probably asleep at the moment. After all, the funeral had been held over several days, and the three brothers had to take turns resting. Song family head, I am sorry for your loss. Lin Chen said. Song Shiai said, Mr. Lin, thank you, please take a break and rest. I hope you will forgive me for any inconvenience. Yun Jia, you take Mr. Lin to where Lao Li and the others are. Okay. A man next to Song Shiai said. Before long, Lin Chen was taken to the backyard. The front yard was noisy, but the backyard was relatively quiet. Song Yunjia knocked on the door and led Lin Chen to a room where two elderly people were admiring calligraphy. They were admiring the piece of calligraphy he had given to the old man. Lin Chen, you're here. We've been waiting for you for quite a while, Lin Chen. The two elderly people looked at Lin Chen and smiled. Song Yunjia quickly exited the room. In the presence of these two elderly people, he felt very pressured. Lin Chen smiled and said, Old Li, Old Zhang. These two elderly men had previously drunk wine together. Old Li said with emotion, last week, Lao Song was still having dinner with us, and I never expected that he would be gone now. His entrustment has unexpectedly become a deathbed entrustment. Old Zhang, Lin, as I said before, if there is anything you need help with, you can just come to us. Lin Chen quickly said, thank you, both of you. Old Li, Lin Chen, there's paper and a pen here. Could you show us your calligraphy? We'd like to learn. Old Zhang also looked at Lin Chen expectantly. They knew that Lin Chen was Lin Yu, but they had never seen Lin Chen write before, and deep down they still couldn't quite believe it. Could Lin Chen be that young and have such strong calligraphy skills? Of course I can. Lin Chen smiled. He walked over to the desk and spread out the paper. There were brushes and ink on the desk. Lin Chen thought for a moment and then picked up the brush and wrote, the setting sun and the lonely duck fly together, the autumn water and the vast sky share the same color. His calligraphy was still legendary, but the level was even stronger than before. Li Laoshi and Zhang Laoshi were quickly immersed in it. A beautiful picture emerged in their minds. It was a while before they came back to their senses. It's superb. Lin Chen, this is a work of national treasure level. Even a foreigner like you can appreciate it? Master Li and Master Zhang asked separately. Lin Chen, if a foreigner understands Chinese, the effect will be the same, but if they don't, the effect will be quite different. For a foreigner who doesn't understand Chinese, the painting has a better effect. You're also good at painting? Master Li asked in surprise. It's okay. Lin Chen smiled. Mr. Zhang hurriedly said, Lin Chen, how about you draw a picture? I studied traditional Chinese painting before, and although my paintings aren't very good, I have a good level of appreciation. Lin Chen nodded, no problem. He directly used a brush to draw an ink painting. His level of painting was a little higher than his level of calligraphy. This is already close to the mythical level. Before he finished drawing, Mr. Li and the others were already immersed in it. After a long time, they came to their senses. Li Laoda said in disbelief, Shaolin, I thought you were only good at calligraphy, but it turns out you are excellent at both calligraphy and painting. Lao Zhang, what do you think of Shaolin's painting? Lao Zhang said in a bad mood. Who am I to comment? His painting has already surpassed the limit of what I can comment on. Let us protect you, Lao Song is really cunning. We're almost in our graves, and we can't protect the Song family for long. You're still young and your future is limitless. At this time, two other bigwigs came over. When they saw the calligraphy and painting that Lin Chen had just written, they quickly immersed themselves in it, and they were shocked when they came to their senses. They had known before that Lin Chen was Lin Yu. They also knew some things about Lin Yu. But that kind of understanding was completely different from the direct feeling they had now. Drip. Lin Chen's phone suddenly rang. It was Cheng Xiaojun calling, and Lin Chen quickly answered. On the other end of the line, Cheng Xiaojun said, Mr. Lin, she misses you. Dad, where are you? Lin Xiaoxi's baby voice came over the line. Mr. Zhang smiled and said, Lin Xiao, go bring your daughter over. It's noisy outside, but it's quiet here. A man surnamed Yang who came later laughed and said, my granddaughter is here too. I'll go get her and bring her over. They're close in age, so they can play together. Lin Chen nodded. Cece, Daddy will be right over. Chapter 246, The Shock of the Bigwigs. Lin Chen quickly brought Lin Xiaoqian in. There were too many people outside, and it was noisy and boisterous, which Lin Xiaoqian didn't like. The big man surnamed Yang also brought someone in. His granddaughter was almost 5 years old, which was quite a bit older than Lin Xiaoqian. Lin Xiao, this is my son's youngest daughter, Yang Kersen. This younger sister of Kersen is called Xiaoqian. You don't have anyone to play with, so you can play with Xiaoqian. The young elder said with a smile. Yang Kersen looked at Lin Xiaoxi, Grandpa, she's too young, she doesn't know anything and it's not fun. Lin Xiaoxi said unconvinced, I'm not young, I'll be 3 soon, I'm a big kid already. So what can you do, Sisai? Yang Kersen asked, I can speak foreign languages. Saying this, Yang Kersen blurted out a piece of English, quite fluent, and she has received an elite education since childhood. I can do that too. Lin Xiaoxi spoke to Yang Kersen in English. Her English was even more fluent and natural than Yang Kersen's. The big guys looked at them in amazement. Yang Kersen was okay, after all, she was more than 4 years old, and if she had been raised bilingual from a young age, it was normal for her to be so fluent at this age. Lin Xiaoxi had not yet reached the age of 3. Many children abroad who speak English as a native language stutter when they speak, and they are far less fluent than Lin Xiaoxi. Lin Xiaoxi is amazing. What else can you do besides this? Yang Kersen looked at Lin Xiaoxi in admiration. She didn't want to play with a child who knew nothing, but Lin Xiaoxi had gained her recognition through her own abilities. Lin Xiaoxi, I can draw, sing, and do maths. Yang Kersen was intrigued. She asked, you can do maths? Let me test you. What's 3 plus 2? Lin Xiaoxi was taken aback. She didn't expect Yang Kersen's question to be so simple. It's 5, Sister Kersen, this is too easy. Lin Xiaoxi said in a baby voice. Yang Kersen, then what's 16 plus 27? Cough. Yang Lao coughed lightly, Kersen, she is so young, how can she answer such a difficult question? It's 43. Lin Xiaoxi said it straight out. The bigwigs were suddenly interested. Lin Xiaoqian was not even 3 years old, and children of this age can already be considered good if they can recognize numbers 1 to 10. Lin Xiaoqian, you're so good at math? Zhang Lao asked. Lin Chen replied, Xiaoqian is about to enter junior high school, and she's quite talented in math. He didn't hide it. It would be good for her to let the bigwigs know how amazing Lin Xiaoqian is. Ha! Zhang Lao and the others were all shocked. Less than 3 years old, and she's already studying for junior high school math? This is a top math genius. Cece, let me give you a problem. Try to answer it and see if you can. Old Li looked at Lin Xiaoxi with interest. He was very good at math. Lin Xiaoxi nodded. Old Li quickly said, the spider has 8 legs, the dragonfly has 6 legs and 2 pairs of wings. The cicada has 6 legs and 1 pair of wings. There are 18 of these 3 insects in total, with 118 legs and 20 pairs of wings. How many of each type of insect are there? Old Zhang and the others. Old Zhang said angrily, Old Li, you're crazy. Sisai is so young, and you're giving her an Olympic math problem. A normal 6th grade math problem is not this difficult. As soon as Zhang Lao finished speaking, Lin Xiaoxi said in a baby voice, 5 spiders, 7 dragonflies, and 6 cicadas. Am I right, Dad? Lin Chen kissed Lin Xiaoxi. Yes, Xiaoxi, you're so good. Yang Kersen looked at Lin Xiaoxi in awe. Xiaoxi, you're amazing. I didn't even hear the question clearly. Mr. Li looked at Lin Xiaoxi in disbelief. This question was not simple, and he was afraid that many 6th grade students would not be able to answer it, let alone so quickly. Lin Xiaoxi had surprisingly given the answer quickly and accurately. She had not even been to kindergarten. By the time she finished elementary school, I'm afraid she would have already finished university mathematics. Sister Kersen, it's all because Dad taught me. My dad is the best. Lin Xiaoxi said with a little pride. Li Laowei smiled and said, Cece, you just said you can also draw. Can you draw us a picture? Lin Xiaoxi nodded without flinching. I can draw too. Yang Kersen said, I've also studied painting. Li Laowei went outside and asked someone to find some watercolor pens. Lin Xiaoxi and Yang Kersen went to the next room and started painting. Lin Xiaoqian has a strong talent for mathematics. If you cultivate her well, she may become a top mathematician. How about I help you find her a great math teacher? Li Laoda said to Lin Chenduo. Lin Chenduo said, Li Laoda, thank you. But let's forget about it. Yang Laoda said, Lin Xiaoqian, Li Laoda is good at mathematics and knows a lot about it, so we can find a great teacher for Xiaoqian. Xiaoqian has a strong talent, but she still needs a good teacher to guide her. Lin Shen chuckled lightly and said, Old John, what I mean is that I can teach Shishi myself, I don't need someone else to teach her. Ha? Old Yang froze for a moment. Old Li hurriedly asked, Lin Shen, don't tell me that your math is also very, very good. Lin Shen said, my math level is not as high as my calligraphy and painting, but I should have no problem reaching the top 5 in the world. Sigh. Old Li and the others were shocked again. This is math. In the eyes of many people, math is theology. Top 5 in the world? I was wrong to say that. No wonder Lin Xiaoxi is so good at maths. Old Master Li sighed. Lin Xiaoxi had probably inherited Lin Shen's talent, and with Lin Shen's teaching, it was not easy to do poorly. Old Master Zhang calculated, Xiaolin, you are very good at fairy tales, calligraphy, painting, basketball, cooking, medicine, and maths. Apart from these, what other areas are you good at? Old Master Zhang named these and the others were amazed. They knew about these things too. It's not bad to be able to count, but this is amazing. Lin Shen laughed lightly and said, Old Master Zhang, apart from these things I know, there's not much else. You should let me keep some secrets. Okay, these are scary enough. Old Master Zhang nodded. Old Master Yang asked, Lin Shen, you know so many things, which area do you plan to develop in the future? Lin Shen said, my main job is being a dad. These are my side jobs, and I haven't considered career development yet. Yang Lao, Cici will soon be going to kindergarten, right? When she goes to kindergarten, won't you consider your career development? Lin Shen shook his head. I plan to let Cici go to kindergarten next year. I will teach her, and she will gain more than she would at kindergarten. Li Lao nodded, indeed, you teaching is better. Cici will likely become a top mathematician in the future, and she can first give her a solid foundation. The several people continued chatting. Li Lao and the others were very enthusiastic. Lin Chen has shown extraordinary strength. And since Lin Xiaoxi is so talented now, she will likely become a pillar of the country in the future. The Lin family's rise is unstoppable. Even though they are in high positions, they still want to befriend Lin Chen. Chapter 247, The Thoughts of the Bigwigs. Grandpa, Shishi is so amazing. The paintings Shishi draws are so beautiful. Yang Kuxian and Lin Xiaoxi arrived at Lin Chen's room. Yang Kuxian took the painting drawn by Lin Xiaoxi and showed it to them. The expression of surprise in the eyes of Li Lao and the others. Lin Xiaoxi's painting was indeed very good. This painting doesn't look like it was painted by a 3-year-old at all. Even if you've studied painting for several years, as a primary school student, very few people can paint as well as Lin Xiaoxi. Cici, you painted really well. Cici is awesome. The Li elders and the other bigwigs praised her one after the other, and Lin Xiaoxi giggled, it's all because Dad taught me. Sister Kersen, let's go and play some more. Yang Kersen nodded, yes, let's go and play. She has learned a lot and is quite good among the children, but now she has been conquered by Lin Xiaoxi. She is far inferior to Lin Xiaoxi in mathematics and drawing. The two little ones went to play next door again, and someone in the next room brought them some toys. Lin Xiaoxi also has a strong talent for drawing. But it may be better for her to focus on mathematics in the future. Li Laoda said. Lin Shen smiled, let's see what she wants to do. With her talent, it won't be a problem for her to study both. Both of her talents are world class. Li Lao and the others' eyes revealed envy. They also wanted such a genius among their descendants. But this envy did not come. Lin Xiaoqian's talent must have been inherited from Lin Chen. Suddenly, Li Lao's heart stirred. Perhaps it wasn't completely envy. Lin Xiao, my grandson is 8 years old this year, not much different from Xiaoxian. In the future, you can let them play more. Old Li suddenly spoke up. Old Zhang glared at him, Old Li, do you have any shame? Sisai is not even 3 years old, and you're already thinking about her marrying into your family? Lin Chen, there's a big difference between 8 and 3 years old. My little grandson is not even 7 years old, which is less than 4 years difference from Sisai, so they're even more suitable. Old Li said with a dark face, Zhang, you say I have no shame, but you're the one who's really shameless. I mentioned it first. Zhang Lao, you said it, you mentioned it first, so you have priority? Do you think it's like buying vegetables at the market? Lin Chen. He coughed lightly. 2 seniors, don't argue, she is less than 3 years old, we won't consider this for her, we won't arrange a marriage between dolls or anything. Li Lao Dao, Linson, for ordinary families, arranging a marriage between dolls doesn't mean much, but for large families, it still has meaning. Lin Chen, if you want to arrange a marriage for your daughter, consider our family. My grandson is very handsome. Zhang Laodao. Lin Chen shook his head, I'm not considering that. One of the bigwigs who hadn't spoken just now, Meng Laodao, Lin Chen, after you get married, it would be best to have a few more children. You have good genes, and you can afford it. Yang Laodao looked at him and said, Meng, your great-grandson was born not long ago, and you're already thinking about this? Who said that? Meng Laodao laughed. Yang looked at him with a dismissive expression, and from the expression on Meng's face, it was very likely that he was thinking this, which was perfectly normal. For top families, the question of how to pass on wealth and power is an important one. Ultimately, this question comes down to the question of talent. The answer to the question of talent is education and genes. Top families will never lack educational resources, and in fact what they need is to improve their family genes. Marrying into geniuses is a good way to do this. But very often they cannot do this. Because this is a long-term benefit, they also need to consider the immediate future. After weighing the pros and cons, they decided to marry their children to a powerful family. If they let their children marry Lin Chen's children in the future, they can take care of both the immediate and long-term interests. Lin Chen smiled, Cici still wants a brother and sister, so we should have another child. More is not necessary, 2 is just right. Having both a son and a daughter, or 2 little Minkins is fine. He has a nanny system, and having another child will also be effective. Old Li, I'll give you another pair of twins. This is good. Meng Lao smiled and said. At noon, Lin Chen and the others had dinner together. Li Laozhan Laozhuang asked their family to send their grandchildren over. Lin Chen knew exactly what they were up to. They wanted their grandchildren to cultivate a relationship with Lin Xiaoxi from a young age. Lin Chen had no intention of setting up a marriage, but he did not oppose them getting to know each other in this way. If they know each other from a young age, they will have a deep relationship with each other when they grow up. After dinner, Lin Chen approached Song Qingxuan. Brother Song, what's the situation now? Have the police found any clues yet? Lin Chen asked. Song Qingxuan shook his head, not yet. It's not going to be easy to solve this case. Lin Chen nodded slightly, Brother Song, I need to tell you something. I've already spoken to the head of the Song family. Your father left a will with me. Lin Chen showed Song Qingxuan the will. Song Qingxuan's face was calm, but he was very happy in his heart. Lin Chen got along well with him, so how could he lose? Brother Song, the distribution of those shares has to wait until the cause of Song Lao's death is clear. I need to give an account to Song Lao. Lin Chen said. Song Qingxuan nodded, I understand, and I also hope to find out soon so that my father can rest in peace. In the blink of an eye, it was the next day. Lin Chen and many others sent Song Lao to the mountains. The case was not closed, and normally they could not be buried, but the strength and influence of the Song family was there. The body of the old Song was not even pulled over for an autopsy. Song family head, Song Zong, goodbye. Lin Chen said. He had to go back, Su Mengyao had called him, the 1,000 drones he wanted were built. The Song family's shares would not be distributed for the time being. Song Xiais and Song Qingxuan knew there was a will, and they were in no hurry to distribute it for the time being. As for Song Shikong, he was in no hurry either. Now that Song Xiais was the head of the family, what he wanted to do was to seize the position of head of the family first and then divide those shares. Mr. Lin, take care. Lin Xiaojun, I'm sorry I can't see you off. Song Xiais and Song Qingxuan said with a smile. Song Shikong was not far away, and he didn't mean to see him off. They were already in a hostile relationship, and there was no need to act. Lin Chen and Li Lei walked closer to each other, but Song Shikong was not afraid of this. For one thing, he was Song Lao's son, and the relationship between the older generations was there. In addition, his wife's family was not weak. Let's go, Lin Chen commanded. Chang Xiaojun quickly drove away. A few hours passed, and Lin Chen and the others returned safely. Lin Chen took Lin Xiaoxi to an outside shop. Inside his shop were many boxes. Lin Chen opened one. Inside was a very well-made drone. The production cost of this drone was much higher than that of an ordinary civilian drone. The cost of one was 2,000. Its performance was also much stronger than that of an ordinary drone. Having a swarm of 1,000 drones was more than enough to face a small enemy. Lin Chen did not directly manufacture more, after all, his aircraft manufacturing skills were only at the master level. After upgrading, he might be able to design a better drone. Chapter 248, Swarm Drones. Dad, what are these? Lin Xiaoqian asked curiously. Lin Chen stroked her little head and said, "These are drones, a type of small plane that can fly." Xiaoqian, go play the piano in the next room for now. Dad has something to do. Lin Xiaoqian nodded. She wasn't very interested in drones, the paper airplanes she folded were not like this. Lin Xiaoqian went next door to practice the piano. Lin Chen opened the 9 cardboard boxes containing the drones. These drones did not need to be assembled, and Su Mengyao had the workers fully charge them. With a thought, a laptop appeared in Lin Chen's hands. He had already finished the drone swarm control program at night when he went to the imperial capital. Using hacking techniques, Lin Chen hacked into the drones and transferred the control system to them. Done. They should be able to fly. Lin Chen muttered to himself. He put on a pair of smart glasses that had already established a connection with the drones. 1, 3, 6, take off. Lin Chen said. 3 of the drones immediately took off, hovering 1 meter above the ground. Lin Chen continued, flight altitude 3 meters. The 3 drones immediately obeyed the command and reached a height of 3 meters. Freely search for human markers. The 3 drones immediately marked Lin Chen, and a map appeared on Lin Chen's smart glasses with a small red dot. One of the drones locked onto Lin Chen, while the other 2 avoided obstacles. They flew to the music room, and soon Lin Xiaoxi was also marked by them. In a short time, they searched the entire shop. There were 2 red dots on the small map Lin Chen saw. At this time, Lin Chen could order the drone to crash into it. If the drone is carrying a bomb, it can send the enemy to heaven. Add these 2 targets to the whitelist. Lin Chen said. Immediately, the 2 red dots marked on the map disappeared. If the enemy is found, it can be tracked continuously. The non-enemy drone swarm can ignore them. The drone swarm can also share data during the tracking process. Even if the enemy shoots down the tracking drone, it will soon be replaced by the remaining drones. The drone swarm returns to the nest. After playing for a while, Lin Chen made all these drones return. The place is too small, so it is not a good place to test the performance. However, Lin Chen estimated that the performance of the drones should be fine. There is definitely nothing wrong with their hardware, and would Su Mengyao still cheat when building these? The control system was developed by himself, and Lin Chen still has confidence in the control system he developed. There is national security protection nearby, so it is not good to directly receive them into the system space. Lin Chen muttered to himself. 1,000 drones plus packaging is quite a lot, and the people from national security are not fools if so many things are gone. The national security people won't just come in and look around, but Lin Chen still can't afford to be careless. He doesn't want the system space to be exposed. Take it slowly. There's no need to put them all away just yet. Lin Chen mused. Putting them all away makes it inconvenient to release them for practice, and the software and hardware need to be tested together. Now that he has the drones, how does he deal with the enemy? Lin Chen thought to himself. With his abilities, he can easily mix explosives, but unless there's no other way, Lin Chen won't use explosives. There is no need for him to put himself on the list of dangerous elements. Let's make a powerful anesthetic. The drone will release it after it crashes near the enemy, and the enemy will be knocked unconscious after breathing for a few seconds. Lin Chen thought to himself. He is a Grandmaster level Western medicine expert, and he knows a lot of knowledge. He knows how to make a powerful anesthetic. This kind of anesthetic is even better than the one used in hospitals nowadays. In addition to strong anesthetics, some poisons must also be formulated, and drones carrying poisons are not easily released. Lin Chen considered. The poison formulated with his abilities will also be very strong. The power of this drone will not be worse than the one with a bomb. Dad, are you done? I can't play. Lin Xiaoqian poked her little head out at the door of the room and asked. Lin Chen smiled and said, Dad is done. Lin Chen first taught Lin Xiaoxi to play the piano, and after the piano, they practiced Tai Chi for half an hour. Even in the imperial capital, Lin Chen and the others practiced. In the evening, Su Mengyao returned home. She smelled the long-lost fragrance of food. Mom! Lin Xiaoxi joyfully threw herself into the arms of Su Mengyao, who had just entered the door. Cici, do you miss your mommy? Su Mengyao picked Lin Xiaoxi up and kissed her left and right. Lin Xiaoqian nodded repeatedly, Of course I do, Mom. Let me down, Mom. Dad wants to hug you too, hee hee. Su Mengyao put Lin Xiaoqian down and looked lovingly at Lin Chen, honey. Lin Chen embraced Su Mengyao. Lin Xiaoqian ran to the second bedroom, Mom and Dad, you can kiss each other, I'll go to my little room, I can't see. Seeing that his daughter was so understanding, Lin Chen naturally acted accordingly. He lowered his head slightly and kissed Su Mengyao. 1 second, 2 seconds. Although he still didn't stick out his tongue, this time Lin Chen kissed for nearly 20 seconds, which was a considerable improvement. You're a bad guy. What if she sees? Su Mengyao said with a slight blush and a pout. Lin Chen smiled and said, If she sees it, she sees it. I'm kissing my wife, not someone else. You take shishi to wash your hands, and I'll stir-fry some vegetables and then eat. Okay. Su Mengyao nodded. The three of them ate quickly, and Lin Xiaoxi was very happy. In the imperial capital, Lin Chen didn't cook, and her food was just so-so. But Lin Xiaoxi wasn't too picky. Honey, can those drones be used? Su Mengyao asked. They are all designed to resist interference. What do you want to use them for, honey? Lin Chen said, If there is an enemy attack, they can be used to find and counterattack the enemy. I will prepare some at home, and you can control them too. You should also bring a few to your car. If you encounter an attack, you can just open the window and let them out. Su Mengyao asked doubtfully, How can you identify the enemy? Lin Chendao said, If someone attacks you, they can autonomously identify and lock onto the enemy and attack. They will be carrying powerful anesthetics. If they hit something near the enemy, they will be able to anesthetize the enemy. You should put a few in the back and boot, and you can also put a few in your office. Su Mengyao nodded. Honey, should we also arrange some at my parents' place and your parents' place? Lin Chen nodded, Of course, this is much safer. I plan to arrange 100 of these at your parents' place and my parents' place. If there is a problem, they can quickly fight back. His parents and Su Mengyao's parents are protected by people from the National Security Bureau, but the protection is not as strong as his. If there are too many enemies, there is still a certain risk. There are many drone swarms that are much safer. Those drones are equipped with cameras. Normally, the drones can remain motionless and just monitor the surroundings. If there is a problem, they can act quickly. They can also remotely contact Lin Chen to warn him. If a problem is detected, Lin Chen can also remotely control them. Su Mengyao, honey, do you need more? I had someone purchase more materials. If you need more, I can have 1,000 drones built in half a day. Lin Chen shook his head, not for now. I need to test first to see if everything is okay. Chapter 249, Stockpile Emergency Supplies. After dinner, Lin Chen took out 3 drones from his study. These 3 drones were what he brought back. Wife, you watch. Lin Chen said. The drones activated. As soon as he finished speaking, the 3 drones instantly activated and flew to a height of 1 meter, where they hovered. Height 2 meters. Lin Chen ordered, and the 3 drones flew to a height of 2 meters. Search for humans. The 3 drones found Lin Chen, Su Mengyao, and Lin Ji respectively. The one in front of Su Mengyao was drone number 2. Lin Chen continued, add drone number 2 as the owner, collect the image and voice print information of drone number 2. The light on the drone in front of Su Mengyao turned green, and a voice came from the drone, owner, please issue an order, we will execute your order. Fly around me once. Su Mengyao said. The drone immediately flew around her. Husband, how do these drones distinguish between enemies? They won't attack ordinary people around them, will they? Su Mengyao asked. Lin Chen said, it initially defaults to everyone being on the whitelist and will not attack anyone. But if someone around you attacks you, or you have a clear order, they will be marked as a target. After marking, they can be continuously tracked and killed. At this point, Lin Chen gave Su Mengyao the smart glasses he was wearing. You should have one in your car and one in your office. It will make your control more precise. If you don't have one nearby or it's inconvenient to use, you can just put the drones into defense mode. As long as you have one drone nearby, all the drones will be able to receive your commands. Lin Chen said. Su Mengyao said doubtfully, what is defense mode? Lin Chen said, defense mode is automatic. If there are many enemies, it's best to enter defense mode. In this mode, the drones will not fly away. If there are few enemies, you can let them enter tracking mode, and they will search for enemies around. In tracking mode, your defense will be weaker, but your ability to counterattack will be enhanced. In both modes, the drones will send me a message, and I will connect to the network to remotely control them as soon as possible. Su Mengyao nodded. She was relieved to know that Lin Chen could remotely control her. Lin Chen said solemnly, Wife, there is one thing you should pay attention to. If the enemy launches a deadly attack right away, then you won't have time to counterattack. So you still have to be as careful as possible. You can't be careless just because they are by your side. Su Mengyao nodded. Husband, this possibility should be very small. The Su Group has brought in some powerful capital, and I am the president. Killing me will affect these capitals. Moreover, I am just an ordinary businessman. If they catch me, I can still threaten you. Killing me is meaningless. Lin Chen nodded. Su Mengyao was right. Killing her would only offend him to the extreme, and it really wouldn't make any sense. The Zhao family, Wu family, etc., Lin Chen did not push them to the brink, at most letting them go to prison for 8 or 10 years. There was no need for them to go to the extreme. For example, Wu Yangcheng, even if he was sentenced to 10 years in prison, when he got out, he would only be in his early 60s. He had a lot of money, and he could still enjoy the next 20 years after he got out. Why would he risk his life and the lives of his entire family? Wife, you need to pay attention to the battery power of the drones. They will remind you if the battery power drops below 30%. You need to charge them in time. Lin Chen reminded. Su Mengyao nodded, I will pay attention. Honey, teach me how to use these smart glasses. Okay. Lin Chen started to teach seriously. That night, after Su Mengyao and Lin Xiaoxi fell asleep, Lin Chen went outside to a shop and loaded dozens of drones into his car. He drove to a nearby hill to test them. Some people climbed this hill during the day, and there were trails inside, but at night it was pitch black and there wasn't a single ghostly figure. Lin Chen took down dozens of drones. The swarm was activated. Go into the forest and search. Lin Chen ordered. Dozens of drones took off at the same time, quickly entering the mountains. They had excellent obstacle avoidance capabilities and could also share data with each other in real time. What is Mr. Lin doing? Don't worry about it so much, just do our job. Not far away, someone was talking in a van. Soon the entire hill was searched by the drones. They had thermal imaging and searched quickly. Lin Chen entered the hill. Recall. 30 or so of the drones were received by Lin Chen in the system space. 10 minutes later, Lin Chen came out of the mountain. 20 or so drones followed him out of the mountain. Lin Chen also deliberately let some drones crash into trees and explode in the grass. This way, he could silently add 100 or 200 drones to his system space. Having so many drones was more than enough. How could a few hundred people besiege him on Chinese soil? Mr. Lin, do you need our help to retrieve them? A member of the national security team approached and asked. Lin Chen shook his head, it's not a secret, why get those broken drones back after they've been blown up? I'll just have Mengyao Company reproduce some. Okay. The national security team member quickly left. Lin Chen left as well. The experiment just now had given him a better understanding of the drone's performance, and he still had to modify the control system. The night passed. Hubby, in 3 days I should be less busy, so we can go to Ely to take wedding photos. Su Mengyao said sweetly. With the wedding only about a month and a half away, they needed to hurry, as photo post-processing would take time. I'm always ready. Lin Chen said with a smile. Su Mengyao went to work, and Lin Chen pondered that he still needed to prepare a lot of things, such as parachutes and tent food for outdoor survival. Su Mengyao's private jet had plenty of parachutes on board, but he couldn't be sure that they were in perfect condition. He stocked up on more parachutes in the system space, so that if anything went wrong, he could quickly replace them. Lin Chen had already learned how to use a parachute. Hello, I'd like to rent your house. Lin Chen anonymously rented a house from a family in the same community. The house was unfinished and unrenovated, and Lin Chen was able to rent it for 2,000 yuan per month. Hello, I would like to buy 10 parachutes. I need the kind that can carry 2 people at the same time. Could you please deliver them to 802, Building 7, Ziyuan Community? The door code is. After buying the parachutes, Lin Chen contacted a supermarket. He placed an order for a lot of things: water, food, clothes, daily necessities, and everything else. Even if they were stranded on a desert island or in the desert, these supplies would be enough to last a long time. In the afternoon, Lin Chen's purchases were delivered to the house. In the evening, Lin Chen went out carrying some things. He went to Building 7, where Lin Xiaoxi's best friend Kiki lived. Of course, Lin Chen wasn't going to Kiki's house. The things he was carrying were just a cover. Collect. Lin Chen went to 802, where he collected all the supplies in the room and changed the room code to something else. Chapter 250, A Woman Who Intentionally Approaches. After collecting the supplies, Lin Chen set off again with many drones. After some testing, there were 30 more drones in his system, except that these drones did not yet carry poison or anesthetic. The use of individual ingredients for anesthetics and poisons is controlled. Lin Chen muttered to himself. Drip. Lin Chen dialed Tian Lang's phone. The voice of Tian Lang came through the phone. Mr. Lin, it's rare, you actually called me on your own initiative, is there something wrong? Tian Lang, I need some experimental materials. Some of the materials are controlled. Can you get them for me? Lin Chen asked. Mr. Lin, no problem. Your identity level is SS, and you have many privileges. You can use many things that are controlled for the general public. What materials do you need? Tian Lang said with a smile at the other end of the phone. Lin Chen, I'll send you a list, and you can prepare the things I need according to the list. I'll transfer the money to you later. Tian Lang, Mr. Lin, you don't know, you are a research-oriented talent with an SS level. Even if you don't join the research institute, you will have 100 million yuan in research funding every year. You don't need to pay anything within 100 million yuan. Lin Chen's eyes revealed surprise, and there are also benefits? Tian Lang, what are the benefits of the SS level? Lin Chen asked. Tian Lang laughed and said, if you need it, the country will provide for your clothing, food, housing, and transportation. The country will provide a house, a car, and 100,000 yuan per month for living expenses. Your family can be arranged for work and school by the state. You and your important family members will be provided protection by the state, and the state will also have someone step in to solve problems when they arise. Lin Chen secretly licked his lips. This treatment is really not bad. Tian Lang, what is the level of academician? Tian Lang said, ordinary academicians are generally level A, academicians in charge of very important projects may be level S, and only a very few people can reach level SS. SS level is a national treasure level talent. The state treats such talents very well. You don't need me to tell you about some things. Mr. Lin, when do you need the things? Lin Chen, as soon as possible. Someone knocked on the door early the next morning. It was Lu Feng, who handed Lin Chen a suitcase. Mr. Lin, everything you need is in here. Thank you. In the morning, Lin Chen prepared a lot of anesthetic agents, which he put in a test tube. The drone crashed and the test tube broke. Inhaling the anesthetic agent will soon make you fall down. The drone will not break if used normally. Lin Chen designed the drone to have a small bullet compartment. The anesthetic agent is in the bullet compartment. In the afternoon, Lin Chen prepared some poison, which will have a much stronger killing effect than the anesthetic agent. Lin Chen will not put this on the drones given to Su Mengyao, his parents, or Su Guofeng. If the anesthetic is accidentally broken, it will only anesthetize for half an hour, and inhaling the poison will be a dead end. Collect. Lin Chen collected the drones containing the poison into the system space. There are about 20 of these drones, and as long as there are not too many enemies attacking him, these will basically be enough. I hope I don't have to use this in the future. Lin Chen muttered to himself. He is protected by more than 10 members of the national security, and under normal circumstances, he will not need to use these things. Lin Chen is just preparing in case. Dad, are you done with work? Lin Chen went outside, and Lin Xiaoxi looked up and asked. Lin Chen smiled and said, I'm done. Cici, let's see if the questions you did are correct. If they are all correct, I'll take you swimming. MMM. Lin Xiaoxi nodded. Lin Chen quickly checked them over. Lin Xiaoqian had done some difficult 6th grade math problems, but Lin Chen didn't find any mistakes after checking. Getting all the questions right meant that Lin Xiaoqian had fully mastered the mathematics knowledge she had acquired during primary school. Xiaoqian, congratulations, you got them all right. From now on, I'll teach you middle school mathematics. Lin Chen kissed Lin Xiaoqian and said with a smile. Hee, Dad, I checked it. I made a mistake in one place, but I found it when I checked. Lin Xiaoxi said happily. Lin Chen, checking is a very good habit. Even the most capable people can make simple mistakes. Let's go swimming. In less than half an hour, Lin Chen and the others arrived at a high-end hotel. The water quality in the hotel's swimming pool was good, and they had swum here many times before. Soon Lin Xiaoxi learned to swim. She could swim, but she couldn't swim very far yet. After 10 minutes, a woman arrived at the pool. This woman was very beautiful and had an extremely good figure. Lin Chen was teaching Lin Xiaoxi attentively, but there were not many people in the entire pool, and Lin Chen saw this woman. This woman's appearance was slightly lower than Su Mengyao's, but her figure was slightly better than Su Mengyao's. Handsome guy, is she your daughter? Your daughter is so cute. After 10 minutes, the woman looked at Lin Chen and asked. Whom? Lin Chen nodded slightly. The woman whispered, handsome guy, I don't want to get married, but I want to have such a cute child. My room is 808, can you help me? I'll be here for the next week. I definitely won't disturb your family. Lin Chen frowned and said, you find someone else to help. He said and swam towards Lin Xiaoxi in the front. The corner of the woman's mouth curled up slightly. She believed in her own charm. Wouldn't Lin Chen help her with such a favor? After swimming for a while, Lin Chen took Lin Xiaoqian away. When they got to the car, Lin Chen dialed Lu Feng's phone number. Lu Feng, just now when I was swimming, a woman deliberately approached me. The other person is very beautiful, so check her out. Okay. Lu Feng quickly started investigating. Just as he returned to the residential area, Lu Feng called, Mr. Lin, I found out. The other person's name is Junko Koizumi, and her Chinese name is Lu Yinyin. She grew up in China. She has been staying at that hotel for a week. Every afternoon she goes swimming, which seems fine on the surface, but she is probably going to meet you by chance. Has she done anything unusual? Lin Chen said, she said she didn't want to get married, and she said that Sisai is very cute and wants a child like her. She asked me to help. Lu Feng, Mr. Lin, the other person may be seducing you, and then gradually luring you out of China. It could also be for your genes. Lin Chen was puzzled, for my genes? Lu Feng said, there is a human genetic modification plan in Dongying country. If she gets pregnant with your child, she will obtain your genes. They may not be able to poach top-notch outstanding talents, but they are often unable to guard against such tactics. Lin Chen. The people of Dongying country really go to any lengths. Lu Feng, just arrest her, right? Lu Feng said over the phone, Mr. Lin, she is the daughter of a wealthy businessman, but this alone cannot be used to determine that she is a spy. So for the time being, we have not arrested her. But we are digging deeper, and we may find something. Chapter 251, The Prince of the Camel Kingdom is here. End of call. Lin Chen's phone rang again shortly afterwards. It was Yu Heian calling. He had made a reservation last month for a meal this month, and Lin Chen had arranged for the reservation to be for tomorrow. The day after tomorrow, Lin Chen and the others would have to leave to take their wedding photos. What is it, President Yu? Lin Chen asked as he answered the phone. Yu Heian laughed at the other end of the line, Master Lin, for that meal tomorrow, I'll bring a friend from abroad who really likes our Chinese food. Lin Chen, Mr. Yu, that's your prerogative. It doesn't matter who you bring or how many, it's still just one table. Yu Heian said, Master Lin, the friend I'm inviting is no ordinary person. He's a prince from the Camel Kingdom. I'd like to invite you to join us. Let's get acquainted. Lin Chen said in surprise, Mr. Yu, you have a wide range of contacts, you even invited the prince of the Camel Kingdom. But if you invite someone like this here, what about security? If something happens to him here, it would be a diplomatic incident. Yu Heian laughed and said, Don't worry, Master Lin. Although he is a prince, he is the 10th in line successor, so power struggles basically have nothing to do with him. He is only interested in good food. He will be flying here with a group of bodyguards on a private jet, so we don't need to worry about security. He will take care of it himself. Master Lin, it's a second time for us, and we are friends now. Let's have dinner together tomorrow. Lin Chen thought about it for a moment and said, okay. Does the prince of this camel country have any dietary restrictions? He doesn't eat pork. Other than that, there isn't much else. Yu Heian replied. In the evening, Su Mengyao returned home. Lin Chen told her about the arrangements for the next day. Su Mengyao said, honey, my parents miss Sisi. You can take her there tomorrow. The day after tomorrow, we'll go to Ely. Lin Chen nodded. Lin Xiaoxi whispered, Mom, I want to tell you a secret. Su Mengyao leaned closer. Lin Xiaoxi whispered in her ear, Mom, today we went swimming in the pool, and I saw a pretty auntie. That pretty auntie kept looking at me and Dad. She also whispered to Dad. Lin Chen. Lin Xiaoxi spoke quite quietly, but his hearing was much stronger than normal people, and he heard it without using internal strength to enhance his hearing. Su Mengyao glanced at Lin Chen. Lin Chen said, Shishi, you play for a while by yourself. Wife, your drone is ready, so you can ask Liang Yi to come up here and take it to the car. Okay. Su Mengyao nodded. She quickly sent a message to Liang Yi. When she got home, Liang Yi wasn't waiting downstairs, but Liang Yi lived not far from here and could come at any time. It wasn't long before Liang Yi came over. Lin Chen took out 9 drones from the study. Liang Yi, 4 of these drones are to be placed at Mengyao Company, and the other 5, 3 in the trunk and 2 in the passenger compartment. Lin Chen said. Liang Yi asked doubtfully, what is this for? Lin Chen picked up one of the drones. It contains a glass test tube filled with a powerful anesthetic. They can be activated by voice command for defense or attack. When you encounter an attack while in the car, you can open the trunk, and the drones in the trunk can be activated remotely to find their own targets. If you are hit from behind by another car and the trunk is destroyed, you let the drone fly out through the sunroof. Liang Yi looked at the drone Lin Chen was holding in amazement. If the test tube is replaced with a bomb, isn't this a suicide drone? Or one with automatic tracking? Lin Zong, if the test tube breaks inside the car. Lin Chen said, normal driving or even a bump, the test tube inside will not break. Usually even if it breaks, it's fine, just anesthetize for half an hour. You have to pay attention to charging the 5 drones in the car. Liang Yi nodded, no problem. Lin Zong, I think the 2 drones in the car can be put in a box, and it won't take long to open the box in case of danger. Or install a drone box on the roof of the car, which can be opened with one button in case of danger. But this will affect the appearance of the car a bit. Lin Chen looked at Su Mengyao, who said, no problem with the appearance, it's better to put it on the roof. Liang Yi, you go find a modification factory overnight to modify it. Money is not a problem. Liang Yi nodded, okay, President Su. Then I'll modify it and come back tomorrow morning to pick up these drones. Okay. Liang Yi left, and Su Mengyao hugged Lin Chen. Honey, sis, I said that there were pretty aunties when she went swimming today. You seem to have had your fill of eye candy today. That's right. Lin Chen said with a smile. Su Mengyao said coquettishly, sis, I said that the other person often looks at you, and the other person also whispered something to you. What did she say? Lin Chen laughed. She said that she was at 808, that she wanted a child, and that she wanted me to help her with a small favor. Su Mengyao. Lin Chen pinched Su Mengyao's tender face. After the swim, I'll turn around and report it. The National Security Agency found out that she was problematic. She is a native of Dongying, her name is Junzi Koizumi, and her Chinese name is Lu Yinin. Is it her? Su Mengyao's eyes revealed surprise. Lin Chen asked, wife, do you know her? Su Mengyao, I've met her twice, once at a ball and once at a charity auction. Her family is not particularly wealthy, with assets of only a few hundred million, but she is very good at socializing. She wants to use her beauty to lure you to the kingdom of Dongying? Is she a spy? Lin Chen, she really wants a child. The kingdom of Dongying has a breeding program, and she wants to obtain my genes. Luring me to the kingdom of Dongying, they know that's impossible. Su Mengyao frowned slightly and said, honey, if that's all, it doesn't seem like we can arrest her. Lin Chen nodded. Su Mengyao kissed Lin Chen on the mouth and said, honey, you have to be careful, don't fall for it. Lin Chen smiled and said, "Don't worry, I'll save the best for you." Su Mingyao's pretty face turned slightly red. Time passed quickly and it was the next day. Lin Chen sent Lin Xiaoxi to her grandparents' house. Lin Xiaoxi missed them and her friends. At noon, a number of luxury cars pulled up to Lin Chen's private kitchen. The first one to get out was Yu Heian. The second one, an even more luxurious one, got out a man in his 30s in a white robe. He looked quite handsome. With a cloth on his head, "I'm the richest person in the world. This is quite a show, who is this?" Some people nearby were talking excitedly. Yu Heian and the man in the white robe entered the courtyard, and the 20 or so bodyguards who got out of the other cars dispersed to the surrounding area. This display took some of the onlookers by surprise. "Oh my, I found out, that was the prince of the Camel Kingdom. This prince is also very rich. What is the prince of the Camel Kingdom doing here?" The crowd discussed this, some of them even tried to post the news online, but either it wouldn't go through directly, or it would be censored and blocked very quickly. "Master Lin, let me introduce you. This is Prince Hale of the Camel Kingdom." Prince Hale, Master Lin is the god of cookery, and no one can match his cooking. Lin Chen introduced after he was done with Yu Heian. He said it in Chinese and then repeated it in Arabic. "Hello, Master Lin." Hale greeted in broken Chinese. Lin Chen shook hands with Hale, and he replied in fluent Arabic, "Prince Hale, welcome." Chapter 252, Drones. This is where it comes in. Hire said joyfully, "Master Lin, you actually speak Arabic, and your Arabic is so authentic. Can we communicate in Arabic? My Chinese is quite poor." Lin Chen nodded, "Of course you can." Yu Heian said in surprise, "Master Lin, your Arabic is much more authentic than mine, amazing. Let's eat, I can't stand the smell anymore." Soon the three of them sat down. Hale took several photos in quick succession. Each of the dishes made by Lin Chen was like a work of art. "Try it, Mr. Yu. My cooking has improved recently," Lin Chen said with a smile. Hearing this, Yu Heian hurriedly told Lin Chen and the others to start eating, and he himself picked up a piece of meat and put it in his mouth. When the meat reached his mouth, Yu Heian was stunned. He had originally thought that Lin Chen's culinary skills had already reached their peak and could not possibly improve any further, but now he realized that that was the limit of his imagination, not Lin Chen's. Hale also tasted it. He was also stunned. As one of the wealthiest princes in Luotua country, he had eaten countless delicacies from the mountains and seas, and he had also eaten a lot of Huagua cuisine. But never had a dish of food given him a feeling that struck straight to his soul. After taking a bite, he felt as if all the cells in his body were cheering. His culinary skills were mythical. The food Lin Chen made could no longer be measured by ordinary food standards. "Master Lin, I used to not believe that your culinary skills were absolutely the best in the world, but now I do. This is not food, it's a miracle," Hire exclaimed, swallowing the food in his mouth. Lin Chen smiled. He activated the system to get to this point, and the appearance of something like the system is truly a miracle. "Prince Hire, try some other dishes." Lin Chen smiled. Hire nodded, and with a pious heart, he tasted each one. Each dish had a different taste, but every dish made him feel incredibly delicious. "Miracle, this is definitely a miracle. Master Lin, you must be a messenger of God." Hale looked at Lin Chen and said reverently. Lin Chen shook his head and said, "Prince Hale, I am Chinese, I am not an emissary of your god." Hale apologized, "Master Lin, I'm sorry, the food you made is so delicious, I can't think of anyone else who could have made it except an emissary of God." Yu Heian said, "Prince Hale, I didn't lie to you, did I? Master Lin's food is definitely the best in the world." "I agree." Prince highly nodded, Thank you. If you hadn't persuaded me to come to Huagua, I would never have been able to taste such delicious food." "Master Lin, can I make a reservation for next month?" Lin Chendao said, "Prince Haile, you can make a reservation for next month, but I have already received reservations from more than 10 people next month. I will probably be quite busy and will only be able to cook for 3 tables. You may not be able to get a reservation then." Yu Heian said, "Master Lin, I would also like to make a reservation for next month." Lin Chendao nodded, "You can." Hale said, "Master Lin, can I pay more to increase my chances? I will give $10 million for each table." Yu Heian. Lin Chen's eyes showed surprise. This is really taking money lightly. 1 million per table is quite expensive, and Hale directly offered $10 million. Prince Hale, no. If I pick you, you only have to pay 1 million RMB, and if I don't pick you, no more money will do. Lin Chen shook his head and refused. His carry now lay close to 20 billion yuan, and he still had the confidence to refuse 10 million US dollars. He could not break the rules he had written himself. Higher, Mr. Lin, my grandfather is very old, and he may not live much longer. I want him to know that there are miracles in this world. You are the miracle. Lin Chen muttered to himself, Grandpa Haile, isn't that the old king of the Camel Kingdom? Although he has retired, his influence is still extremely strong as long as he doesn't die. Prince Haile, I'm sorry, but these are my rules. Lin Chen said. Yu Heian coughed lightly. Haile, you have to be flexible. 1 million for a meal, this cannot be changed, but if you have a good relationship with Master Lin, the chances of being selected will be greater. Master Lin is doing this to make more friends. Do you understand? Haya nodded as if he understood. I don't really understand yet, you can teach me then. Yu Heian, no problem. After the meal, Yu Heian packed up all the leftovers. Higher, what are you? Yu Heian said, I'm packing it to take home. It's not good to give leftovers to others, I can eat it myself. I don't know when I'll be selected again. Higher opened his mouth, but he didn't say anything. He also wanted some leftovers to take away, but he didn't dare to say so. After all, Yu Heian had invited him to dinner. Yu Heian finished packing, and Lin Chen and the others went outside. Be careful. Lin Chen suddenly pulled Higher. Bang! A bullet shot at the place where Hale was just standing. If Lin Chen hadn't pulled him, Hale would have been dead for sure. Enemy attack, enemy attack. Hale's bodyguards moved quickly. But catching the sniper wasn't that easy. The bullet came from the rooftop of a high-rise building 500-600 meters away. With the traffic in Shanghai, it would take some time to go straight 500-600 meters, not to mention that there was no direct route in the past. Sniper! Yu Heian said with a pale face. They returned to the courtyard, and the sniper could no longer see them, but the feeling of having a sniper watching them from the shadows still made Yu Heian and Hale's scalps tingle. Lin Chen, on the other hand, was not panicking. He had a strong constitution, and he was almost a martial arts master, so his reaction speed was much faster than normal people. He might not be able to react in time to a close-range shot, but at long range, it would not be so easy to kill him. Lin Chen's hand reached into his pocket. A pair of smart glasses in the system space landed in his hands. He put on the glasses and said nonchalantly, Swarm 4, activate. Hum. The 4 drones in the room on the second floor of the private kitchen immediately activated. The one here at the private kitchen is Swarm 4, the one at home is Swarm 1, the one in Su Mengyao's car is Swarm 2, and the 4 in her company are Swarm 3. The swarms leave the nest. The first one stays behind, while the second, third and fourth head northwest, about 500-600 meters away. The target is armed, so find and neutralize him. Lin Chen ordered. Hum. The 3 drones immediately flew out of the window and flew northwest at a very fast speed, 500-600 meters away. On the rooftop 500-600 meters away, the sniper quickly disassembled his sniper rifle. If he missed, he was ready to flee. But just as he finished packing and was about to leave, a drone flew over. Lin Chen's smart glasses displayed a photo, which flashed a faint red light, indicating a highly suspicious target. Bang! The sniper on the rooftop quickly drew his pistol. He wanted to shoot down Lin Chen's approaching drone. But the distance was 30-40 meters, and it was not easy for him to hit the drone in midair with one shot. As he drew his gun, the red light in the photo immediately deepened. Lin Chen did not give any orders, but the drone's control system automatically identified the man as a target. Hum. Hum. 2 other drones also arrived. They shared data and obtained information. Fuck. The agent on the rooftop looked very unpleasant. Hum. Hum. The 2 drones rushed at him from different directions. This agent was indeed a good shot. He shot down one of the drones, but the other one crashed into him. The anesthetic agent immediately spread. No good. Breathing in the anesthetic, the agent immediately realized that something was wrong. But Lin Chen's anesthetic was fast-acting, and he couldn't even raise his gun to kill himself. Master, the target has been hit. Do you wish to continue searching for the remaining suspicious targets? The words appeared on Lin Chen's smart glasses. Chapter 253, Conduct Business with the Wealthy Dog Owner. Stand by for in situ monitoring. Lin Chen ordered. Yes, Master, I will stand by for in situ monitoring. The text appeared again on the smart glasses. Lin Chen took out his phone and dialed Lu Feng's number. Lu Feng, the sniper has been taken down by my drone, but you have to be careful whether he has any companions. Lu Feng's eyes revealed a look of surprise. Okay. The national security people are familiar with the terrain here, and they arrived at the rooftop where the sniper was faster than Hire's bodyguards. They saw the sniper lying unconscious on the ground. There were the remains of 2 drones on the rooftop, and there was another drone hovering above them. It wasn't long before Hire's bodyguards arrived as well. Hire also received a call from his bodyguard. Master Lin, you managed to easily take care of the sniper. Your drones are very impressive. Can I buy some? Hire asked. Lin Chen shook his head. Prince Hire, my drones are not for sale. They are not purely civilian products, and I am afraid it will be inconvenient to sell them to you. Hire held up a finger and said, Master Lin, think about it. I will pay $10,000 for each one. I will need at least 10,000. If the performance is good, there will be follow-up orders. Lin Chen. What a big spender. Not counting the control system, these drones only cost 2,000 yuan each. If Hire buys them for $10,000 each, a profit of 30 to 40 times is hard to resist. In traditional manufacturing, a profit of 5% per year is considered good, and some may even lose money in a year. His drones, a mere 10,000 units, can be produced in 3 or 4 days at the drone factory of the Su Group. In 3 or 4 days, they can make a profit of 700 million renminbi. Isn't that much faster than robbing money? Prince Hire, I need to ask. Lin Chen duo. The 3 of them returned to the room of the private kitchen. The sniper might have accomplices, so it was safer to stay here for the time being. I'll make a call. Lin Chen duo went upstairs and dialed Tian Lang's phone. Tian Lang's voice quickly came over the line. Mr. Lin, the sniper's target is not you but Prince Hire. The other party probably wants Hire to die in China, so as to drive a wedge between China and the Camel State. The drone you built is quite good. I want to buy some equipment for the comrades protecting you and your family. By the way, why is the sniper unconscious? Lin Chen, he was injected with a powerful anesthetic. He should wake up in half an hour, and be fully recovered in about 40 minutes. You protect me and my family, so why do you need to buy drones? I'll give you 100 drones. Tian Lang Dao, you're also bringing the powerful anesthetic? In the city, a drone with a bomb on it would have a big impact. You using a powerful anesthetic is very good. No problem. Tian Lang, I can export this, right? Lin Chen asked, the kind without the anesthetic. Tian Lang was stunned. Export? A big dog wants to buy it? Lin Chen, Prince Haile offered $10,000 for each drone. He needs at least 10,000 drones, and the cost is only 2,000. Ha! Tian Lang took a deep breath. The profit is quite staggering. After thinking for a while, he said, Mr. Lin, as long as our country's drone companies have the qualifications to legally produce and sell, they should be able to sell them after reporting. Will the technology be leaked? Lin Chen said, the parts are all purchased on the market. The core of my drone is its control system. The control system is encrypted and difficult to crack. Tian Lang laughed and said, from what I know about you, since you are considering selling it, this thing shouldn't be the most advanced. You will be able to come up with a better drone in the future, right? I should be able to. Lin Chen Dao said. His aircraft manufacturing technology is only at the master level. But he wins because he has a comprehensive grasp of knowledge, otherwise his drone is not impressive enough. Mr. Lin, don't forget the country when you have something good. Tian Lang reminded him. Lin Chen, don't worry, I won't forget. This one isn't good enough. It's pretty good for civilian use, but I'm not sure it's ready for military use with my current technology. I'll do some more research. Tian Lang, Mr. Lin, you can't pass up a chance to make money from a rich dog. But I suggest you don't order from Su Mengyao's company at this price. There's no need. The Su Group owns almost half of the shares. Lin Chen smiled, I understand. After hanging up the phone, Lin Chen went downstairs. Prince Hire, I just asked, and I can sell you this batch of drones. You can control them in Arabic. I'll tell you more about its performance. After listening to Lin Chen's introduction, Prince Hire's eyes lit up. The performance of this drone is even better than he expected. It has a very good battery life, good anti-interference capabilities, and especially the swarm system has very strong capabilities. Finally, Lin Chen warned, Prince Hire, this is a civilian product. Although it can hold things inside and hang things outside, I do not recommend private modifications. We are not responsible if there are problems with private modifications. Prince Hire smiled and said, I understand, I bought it for civilian use, and I will do a drone light show. Lin Chen nodded, that's good. Prince Hire, there is one more problem. After they are sold to you, they will not be able to fly in China. They cannot be sold back to attack China. No problem. Master Lin, this drone has very good performance, but the first batch of 10,000 is a bit small. I'd rather buy 30,000. Said Prince Hire. Lin Chen nodded, okay, oh yes. According to our Chinese rules, there are discounts for large purchases. If you buy 50,000, I can give you a 20% discount. Then 50,000 it is. Prince Haile hurriedly said. The next 20,000 drones would cost only $100 million. That was a good deal for him. It was even better for Lin Chen. The extra 20,000 drones would only cost an additional $40 million, but would earn an additional $700 million. After deducting the cost and taxes, he would still earn several hundred million. No problem. Lin Chen nodded. Prince Hire said, Master Lin, with your reputation, I can pay you the full amount, can you deliver them in 6 months? Lin Chen was puzzled, 6 months? 10,000 drones in 3 or 4 days, and 50,000 drones, if you hurry, you should be able to produce them all in half a month. Prince Hire may have some misconceptions about the industrial capacity of the Republic of China. Prince Hire, it should be possible in a month. Plus the time for transportation, it should take no more than 2 months. Lin Chen said. A look of joy appeared in Hire's eyes, so fast? Shipping is too slow. I'll arrange for transport planes to take it back when I arrive. Master Lin, it's been a pleasure working together. Lin Chen shook Hire's hand and said, it's been a pleasure working together. Both parties were very happy. They both felt that they had gotten a good deal. Chapter 254 Su Mengyao Trouble. In the evening, Lin Chen went to the Su group to pick up Su Mengyao. Wife, what are you thinking about? Why do you look so preoccupied? Lin Chen asked as he hugged Su Mengyao when he saw her. Let's talk in the car. Su Mengyao said. The two got into the car, and Lin Chen started the car and set off. They had to go to Su Mengyao's parents' house to pick up Lin Xiaoxi. Honey, is there a problem? Lin Chen asked. Su Mengyao frowned slightly. Honey, do you remember Tianhe Group? Lin Chen nodded. Of course, Tianhe Group was founded by Pan Jia and the others. Have they targeted you? Yes. Su Mengyao nodded. They have taken away a single business from us. This single business is quite large, and the company's drone business is facing a lot of pressure all of a sudden. If the production line stops, the workers will have no work to do, but if the production line doesn't stop, the pressure on inventory will increase, and we may have to reduce prices to clear it. Honey, going to Ely may have to wait a while, I need to urgently solve the drone sales problem. Lin Chen, isn't this kind of thing the responsibility of the people below? Su Mengyao nodded. Normally it is, but if there is a sudden and relatively large gap, I may have to step in. I need to go and visit some big clients. Lin Chen asked, how big is the gap? 100,000 units. Su Mengyao rubbed his forehead and said, the company's production line is running at full speed, with a daily output of about 3,000 units. The output to maintain normal operations is 1,000 units. Tianhe Group must have been prepared and caught us off guard. It is also possible that there was something wrong with that big order in the first place, and even if the customer returns the order, the liquidated damages are not much. Lin Chen asked, what is the profit per drone? Su Mengyao said, we give the retail end a 30% gross profit, but the retail end has various costs, so the retail end's profit is estimated to be less than 10%. In the past, drones had a bigger profit margin, but now they are also in trouble. Lin Chen smiled and said, honey, don't worry. I want you to build the drone I asked you to build, 50,000 of them. I'll pay 3,000 each for a cost of 2,000. Su Mengyao was stunned for a moment. She quickly said, honey, this won't work. Although buying them can ease the pressure on the company, there's no point in buying so many drones. You won't need that many for your research. Lin Chen smiled and said, I'm not using them myself. I'm buying them to resell to others. Is there a problem with buying them for 3,000 each? You're not going to deliberately give me a low unit price, are you? Su Mengyao, there's no problem with 3,000 each. And with the large quantity, the cost per unit will be slightly lower. The gross profit is estimated to be over 35%. Husband, you're not lying to me? Lin Chen shook his head, of course not. The person who wants to buy my drone is Prince Hale of Hale in the Camel Kingdom. He likes my drone and is willing to pay this amount. Lin Chen held up one finger. Su Mengyao said in surprise, 10,000 yuan per unit? Including your control system, this price is not low. 10,000 US dollars per unit. Lin Chen said. Hiss. Su Mengyao was incredulous. The cost of the drone body is only 2,000 yuan, and with the control system, the cost is at most 4,000 yuan. How can it sell for 10,000 US dollars each to Camelot? Honey, outsiders from the Su Group hold nearly half of the shares, and if I buy it at this price, we'll lose money. What do you think of 3,000 yuan each? Lin Chen asked. Su Mengyao nodded, that price is acceptable. The main reason that drone can sell for so much is your control system, and they should be eyeing that. The drone itself is far from worth this much. Lin Chen asked, you have a shortfall of 100,000 units. Can 50,000 drones alleviate the company's pressure? Su Mengyao nodded. Of course it can. Unless the buyer wants it urgently, the production line will not produce at full speed, and it will normally be around 2,000 per day. The company still has some small orders, and together with this large order of 50,000 drones, it will be enough to support the company for a while. Lin Chen smiled, okay, then it's settled. We don't need to postpone our plan to go to Ely anymore, right? Su Mengyao nodded. MMHM. Thank you, husband. Not far from the Su Group. Inside the president's office of the Tianhe Group. Pan Jiao wore a faint smile on her face. She was the vice president of the Tianhe Group, and Zhang Qingshan was the president. The Pan family of the Tianhe Group held a 30% stake, the Zhang family held a 40% stake, and the Wei family behind Edmund held a 30% stake. President Zhang, the Su Group is probably not going to fare well in this crisis. Pan Jia giggled, Su Mengyao is flying to Ely tomorrow and wants to take wedding photos. I wonder if she'll still be in the mood after this sudden turn of events. Zhang Qingshan said sternly, Vice President Pan, attacking our competitors is what we need to do, but we must not let our personal emotions get in the way. Everything must be done for the sake of the company's development. Pan Jia nodded. President Zhang, don't you still have a say in this? I'll be responsible for devising some unconventional strategies, and you'll be responsible for the company's normal operations. Let's first swallow up Su's Group's drone company. Zhang Qingshan, Vice President Pan, as soon as their production line stops, you immediately spread negative news about them. With the production line stopped and production problems, customers behind them will have to think twice when buying. We have to get them into a vicious cycle. Vice President Pan Jia nodded with a smile, no problem, leave it to me, I'll help spread the news internationally, and I'll spoil their foreign customers for them. Vice President Pan, if they don't stop the production line. Zhang Qingshan smiled faintly, in that case, their products will pile up, and as we do our best to steal their customers, the pressure on their product inventory will become increasingly great. I hope Su Mengyao will go for her wedding photos as scheduled. If she causes problems for the company due to personal matters, we can still make an issue of it then. Pan Jia nodded. If Su Mengyao personally goes out and runs around, she should still be able to solve the problem given her status. If she doesn't step in, Su Guofeng stepping in may not work either. The drone business was developed by Su Mengyao. Pan Jia and the others are deliberately picking this time to stir up trouble. An hour or so later, Lin Chen and the others arrived at the Su family residence. Su Guofeng had also returned. He had gone out of town to handle business and had just returned to the city. Mengyao, I heard that the company's drone orders were snatched. Don't worry about this, just go with Lin Chen to Ely for a pre-wedding photoshoot, I'll handle it. Su Guofeng called Su Mengyao into the study. Su Mengyao said with a relaxed expression, Dad, this is solved, my husband placed an order for 50,000 drones for the company. Su Guofeng froze for a moment. Does this make sense? It's useless for him to buy so many drones. Su Mengyao, Dad, I'll let my husband talk to you. Su Mengyao went out and called Lin Chen in, and she didn't come in herself. She stayed with Lin Xiaoxi to play games. Lin Chen told Su Guofeng the situation. Su Guofeng was a bit puzzled. Why did Prince hire by so many? He wanted to make a dinner reservation, but it shouldn't cost him a few $100 million, right? Dog owners are rich but not stupid. In the past, they bought firewood, which cost a lot of money, but that firewood ensured peace for decades. Lin Chen, today he was attacked by a sniper. Lin Chen didn't tell Su Mengyao about this, but he had no problem telling Su Guofeng. Chapter 255, Lin Chen, how is your strength? Su Guofeng's expression was grave. Lin Chen, there must be a force behind that sniper. You ruined their good deed, they won't look for revenge on you, right? Lin Chen, Dad, I don't think so. Creating additional complications doesn't make any sense to them. Su Guofeng said sternly, but you didn't just save Prince Haile, you also captured their people. We still have to be careful. You and Meng Yao are going to Ili this time. The security in the cities of Xinjiang is very good, but if you leave the city, the land is vast and sparsely populated, so you still need to be careful. Lin Chen nodded, I understand. The National Security Department will definitely have someone follow us there. Su Guofeng asked, how is your martial arts now? The most reliable person to rely on when encountering an enemy is yourself. Not bad. Lin Chen said with a smile. System, how much experience have I gained in ancient martial arts and Tai Chi now? Lin Chen asked in his head. He asked last week, so it's only a matter of a few hours, and now it's probably only an hour or two. He and Lin Xiaoxi have been practicing diligently for the past month, and they're now practicing a little longer than before. Host, the total duration of your ancient martial arts Tai Chi experience is 48 hours. Lin Chen was overjoyed. With another 2 hours of experience, his ancient martial arts Tai Chi will reach the master level. At the Grandmaster level, he can withstand pistol bullets, but not rifle bullets. However, once his martial arts cultivation reaches the Grandmaster level, his combat effectiveness will definitely be much stronger than it is today. His reaction speed will also be faster. He can't withstand rifle bullets, let alone sniper rifle bullets, but the bullets still have to hit him. His physique is strong, and even if they hit him, as long as they can avoid his vital points, they won't have a significant impact on him. Not bad. What level is that? Su Guofeng asked, knowing your strength will put our minds at ease. Lin Chen thought for a moment and said, Dad, 30 or 50 adult men, I don't think they would be my match. He was underestimating. Even without using internal strength, with his physique, he could easily defeat 30 or 50 people by himself. His strength is stronger and faster. His reaction speed is also much faster than normal people. With his strength, if he attacks with all his strength, an ordinary person will break bones wherever he is hit. An ordinary person hitting him with all their strength is similar to hitting a tiger. The amount of force is too weak for a tiger. 30 or 50 adult men can't beat you? Su Guofeng was shocked. Lin Chen doesn't look that strong either. Lin Chen smiled, it should be about the same. After all, I have studied martial arts and have already gained a lot of internal strength. Dad, don't worry about us. Just take care of yourselves. Su Guofeng nodded. Lin Chen was so strong, he really felt much more at ease. Let's go eat. Tonight, let's father and son have a drink. Lin Chen went outside to the study, and he heard the sound of a piano coming from upstairs. Su Mengyao and Lin Xiaoxi were in the piano room. Lin Chen went upstairs. Su Mengyao was playing the piano, and Lin Xiaoxi was watching attentively. After the song was over, Lin Chen smiled and walked over. Lin Xiaoxi's eyes lit up. Dad, play a song too. Mom, Dad is really good now. Really? Su Mengyao said in surprise. She has been busy recently and hasn't heard Lin Chen play for a while. In the past, Lin Chen's piano level was not as good as hers. Cici, dinner is ready. Lin Chen patted Lin Xiaoxi's little head and said, Dad, please play, I beg you. Lin Xiaoqian said coquettishly while hugging Lin Chen's thigh. Su Mengyao, honey, you play a song. There's no rush to eat, it's fine if we're a little late. Okay. Lin Chen sat down in front of the piano. His piano skills had reached the level of a master for some time, and he had now advanced quite a bit at the master level. Looking at the whole country, his piano level should also be in the top 10. Soon, the pleasant sound of the piano filled the room. Su Mengyao's beautiful eyes looked at Lin Chen in surprise. Lin Chen's piano level had actually reached such a level. This level was already much higher than hers. Yang Qingyue also arrived upstairs. She came to call Lin Chen and the others. Has Meng Yao's level improved so much recently? Yang Qingyue's eyes revealed surprise. She understood music, and she knew exactly what level Su Mengyao was at before. Soon, Yang Qingyue arrived at the door. She saw that at the moment, it was Lin Chen playing. Lin Chen's talent is truly amazing. Yang Qingyue marveled in her heart. She knew that Lin Chen had never touched a piano before, and that Lin Chen had studied for a short period of time, yet his level was already so high. This level is completely good enough for a concert. Soon the song ended, and Su Mengyao exclaimed in awe, "Husband, you're amazing. I used to spend a lot of time studying before I reached this point. You've only been learning for a short time." Lin Chen said with a smile, "If you want to learn, I can teach you. With your talent, you should be able to reach the level I'm at now." Really? Su Mengyao's eyes lit up. To be able to reach Lin Chen's level is also very strong. Of course it's true. Lin Chen nodded. Su Mengyao's talent is still very good. If she has a good teacher, her level can still improve. In the future, he can reach the level of a grandmaster, or even a legendary myth, and there is no problem teaching Su Mengyao. Mom, I'm not lying. Dad is really good now. Lin Xiaoxi giggled. Yang Qingyue walked in and said, "Lin, you can already hold a concert at this level, but let's put that aside for now, you guys hurry down and eat." Okay. The couple quickly went downstairs to eat. After 3 rounds of wine, Su Guofeng said, "Lin, I think your home should be almost finished decorating." Lin Chen nodded, "It should be done in a week." Su Guofeng said, "Then when you come back, we'll go to your hometown and take a look. We have the custom of visiting the groom's family before the wedding. We're not looking at your home's conditions, but mainly at your parents, to discuss the wedding process. In ordinary families, the main purpose of the pre-wedding visit is to see the conditions and to see how the parents of the groom are. Su Guofeng and his friends don't need to see this. Lin Chen's parents they have met. As for the family conditions, with their financial resources on both sides, there is no need to see this. Lin Chen, then I will let my parents know. Tell them to hurry up and finish the finishing touches on the renovation." Yang Qingyue smiled and said, "Lin Xiaochen, your parents don't need to make any special preparations, we are just going to take a casual look." Lin Xiaoxi looked forward to it and said, "Dad, I want to go too. I haven't been to my grandparents' house yet." "Have you been there, Mom?" Su Mengyao shook her head and said, "Mom hasn't been there either." Lin Chen smiled and said, "When we come back, we'll go together." "Dad, is there anything we need to pay attention to? If there is, I'll talk to my parents about it." Su Guofeng shook his head and said, "There's nothing to pay attention to. We're just going there, and we don't plan to ask any other relatives to come along." Chapter 256, New Developments with Su Mengyao. After dinner, Su Mengyao drove home. "Dad, let's practice martial arts. We still have 1 session left today," Lin Xiaoxian said in a baby voice. Lin Chen had already taken her to practice once before sending her to her grandparents' house in the morning. Lin Xiaoxian was quite self-conscious now, and she could also feel the benefits of practicing more. Her body would feel more comfortable. She feels a little uncomfortable if she doesn't practice twice a day. "Okay, Dad will take you to practice." Lin Chen kissed Lin Xiaoxian and smiled. Only 2 hours left until he reaches the master level, and at this rate, he will become a martial arts master the day after tomorrow. Lin Chen quickly started practicing. Lin Xiaochen imitated him, and after practicing for so long, she looked quite the part. Su Mengyao watched them with a slight smile on her face. She didn't learn this. She tried practicing it, but it was quite difficult, and she didn't have that much time to learn it. 30-odd minutes passed. Lin Chen asked, "Cici, can you still hold on? If you can, we'll practice a little longer today." Lin Xiaoqian nodded. Lin Chen practiced with Lin Xiaoqian for another 10 minutes. Add a little time today, and add a little more tomorrow, and tomorrow he can become a martial arts master. Flying to Ely tomorrow will make the improvement in strength safer. CC is awesome. Let's go pack the suitcase. We need to go out for a few days, so we need to pack properly. Lin Chen kissed Lin Xiaoxi and said, "Su Mengyao, honey, I'll do it." "It's okay, let's do it together," Lin Chen said with a smile. He also wanted to see if he could further improve the system space. Unfortunately, he tidied up with Lin Xiaoqian, but this time the system space was not successfully upgraded. The system space is upgraded 1 to 3 times a year, with an average of 2 times. It is hard to say if it can be upgraded again this year. After Lin Xiaoqian finished taking a shower, Lin Chen told her a story for a while and she fell asleep. Su Mengyao came out after taking a shower. She walked slowly like a goddess descending from heaven. Lin Chen embraced Su Mengyao and couldn't help kissing her. Suddenly Su Mengyao's body stiffened, and an invader came into her mouth, invading and conquering. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Su Mengyao's body soon began to tremble, and her face turned pale. Lin Chen quickly sounded the retreat. "Wife, are you okay?" Lin Chen patted Su Mengyao's back and said. Su Mengyao trembled and said, "Husband, I still can't control it." "It's okay, I know." Lin Chen kissed Su Mengyao's forehead and said that at least there had been some progress compared to before. "If you keep kissing like this, you'll get used to it, hee hee." Su Mengyao rested her head on Lin Chen's shoulder and said, "Husband, thank you for being so tolerant of me." Su Mengyao's body was still trembling a little, so Lin Chen changed the subject and said, "Wife, when you go to the man's house to see his family, isn't it unusual for there to be relatives at the woman's house?" "No relatives from your family are going? Besides, I don't seem to have met your relatives much." "Su Mengyao, let's go outside and talk, don't wake up Cece." The two went into the living room, and Su Mengyao said, "I used to have an uncle who passed away before getting married. My father doesn't have any siblings, but he does have cousins. But my father and their relationship is not very good." Lin Chen's diversionary tactic worked very well. Su Mengyao's trembling stopped and her face gradually returned to normal. "Why?" Lin Chen asked. Su Mengyao's eyes revealed a look of recollection. "When I was young, my father and my uncles got along very well. They weren't as well off as my father, so he tried to help them as much as he could. Later, my uncles became increasingly ambitious and said that since I was a girl, I would get married in the future, and the Su family's assets could not go to outsiders. My parents had a big fight with them, and they stopped seeing each other after that. The relationship grew colder and colder." Lin Chen said in surprise, "Your uncles wanted to seize your family's wealth?" Su Mengyao nodded. "My father originally wanted to give them some businesses, and they could have lived quite well. But they wanted their sons to be at the heart of the company, and they even said things like that. My father and mother were very angry." Lin Chen said, "Your parents are still alive, and they just want to manipulate you and ruin you. How could your parents not be angry?" Su Mengyao sighed. "I never thought that my first and second uncles would turn out like that. Our family has treated them well. Relying on our family, both of their families have made tens of millions. This incident has made Dad feel very disheartened." Lin Chen, "It's very simple why they become like that. They feel that 10 million is too little compared to tens of billions. They thought they could use their family ties to get more. Family ties are sometimes too fragile compared to money." Su Mengyao looked at Lin Chen with beautiful eyes. "Honey, I don't want to talk about them anymore. Let's try kissing again." Lin Chen immediately acted, and of course such a request had to be met. Soon Su Mengyao's body trembled again, her face turned pale, and her breathing became rapid. It was a while before Su Mengyao calmed down. Lin Chen coaxed, "Go to sleep, dear, get some rest, we're going to be on a long flight tomorrow. I'll take some more drones out for testing." Su Mengyao nodded. Lin Chen went to the shop outside, and he took dozens of drones with him. After some testing, another 30 or so drones arrived in Lin Chen's system space. He now had hundreds of drones in his system space. Creak. Lu Feng drove up to Lin Chen. "Mr. Lin, there is something we can do. Can a few of us go to Xinjiang on your private jet?" "There are no commercial flights at that time of year." Lu Feng asked. "Sure." Lin Chen nodded. "It will be safer with Lu Feng and the others on the plane." "Thank you. We will have 2 teams of 6 people go with you. Someone will also remain at your home to guard it," Lu Feng said. Lin Chen nodded. "I have already spoken with Tian Lang, and he has agreed to provide you with 100 drones. You can go with me to collect them. You can also take some with you this time." After returning home, Lin Chen gave the drones to Lu Feng and the others. The drones that were given out were equipped with a swarm control system, and some of them were also equipped with anesthetic agents. The rest that were not equipped with anesthetic agents could be equipped with other things by Tian Lang and the others. In the blink of an eye, it was the next morning. After breakfast, Lin Xiaoxi first followed Lin Chen to practice Tai Chi. "Let's go." Lin Xiaoxi said happily. Dad, I want to sit on top of the suitcase. Lin Chen carried Lin Xiaoxi onto the suitcase. Xiaoxi, you have to hold on tight and don't fall off. MMHM. Lin Xiaoxi nodded. The three of them went downstairs to the parking lot, where Liang Yi was waiting. She drove Lin Chen and the others to the airport. Soon Lin Chen and the others got into the car and set off. Someone outside the UN community made a phone call. Miss Pan, Lin Chen, Su Mengyao and the others have left in a car. A smile appeared on Pan Jia's face. It was very likely that Lin Chen and the others were going to the airport. Su Mengyao, you are really stupid. At this hour, you still have the mood to take wedding photos. Pan Jia thought to herself. Chapter 257, Legendary Math Skills. Mr. Lin, everything is normal with the plane. Lin Chen and the others arrived at the airport on Changshaojun Road. There were two teams following Lin Chen and the others, one of which arrived at the airport early to have the plane inspected. The other team followed Lin Chen and the others. Thank you. Everyone hurry up and get on the plane. Lin Chen said with a smile. The Lin family and Lu Feng and the other 5 people boarded the plane. Lu Feng and the others carried the 3 large boxes onto the plane. 2 of the boxes contained drones, and the other contained weapons such as sniper rifles. Once inside the plane, Lu Feng and the others felt rather constrained. Such a private jet was too luxurious for them. Su Mengyao smiled and said, "Everyone, make yourselves at home. If you want anything to eat or drink, just ask the flight attendants." Okay, thank you, President Su. Lu Feng and the others sat upright. Lin Chen fastened Lin Xiaoxi's seatbelt and said, "Lu Feng, it's going to be 5 hours before we get there. Aren't you tired? You should relax and get some rest. If there's an emergency, you'll be the ones dealing with it." Lu Feng and the others relaxed a little when they heard Lin Chen say that. "Uncle Lu, can you sing? Let's sing." Lin Xiaoxi turned her head and said in a baby voice. "Yes. Cici, you go first." Lu Feng said. The plane was still waiting to take off, and Lin Xiaoqian sang. Lu Feng and the others were surprised to see that Lin Xiaoqian actually sang very well. She was still a baby. "Uncle Lu, who will sing?" Lu Feng and the others chose a representative to sing. This person sang a military song, and his singing was average, but he had a lot of momentum. "Mr. Su, our plane is about to take off." The captain's voice rang out. Soon, their plane soared into the blue sky. After the plane had settled, Lin Xiaoqian whispered, "Dad, let's fold origami airplanes. I want to fold 6 and give them to Uncle Lu and the others when we get off the plane." Okay. Lin Chen kissed Lin Xiaoqian. He took out the paper specially made for folding origami airplanes from his bag. This kind of paper is more suitable for folding those complicated airplanes. Soon, 5 minutes passed. The voice of the system sounded in Lin Chen's mind, "Host, your aircraft manufacturing skills are beginning to improve." "System, how many hours have I had aircraft manufacturing skills now?" Lin Chen asked in his mind. "Host, it is now 78 hours. Lin Chen sighed inwardly, still quite a bit off from being a grandmaster. It is indeed a bit difficult to improve aircraft manufacturing skills. But there are also many benefits if this is improved. Dad, this is a bit difficult." Lin Xiaoqian watched Lin Chen fold a paper airplane. Lin Chen said gently, "Cici, this is a bit difficult, but we have a lot of time, you can definitely learn it. Do you want to try and take on the challenge? If you can't learn it, we can always do something else." Lin Xiaoqian nodded. Lin Chen patiently taught step by step, and Lin Xiaoqian slowly learned. Su Mengyao looked at her face, which had a look of reminiscence on it. She remembered clearly that in the past, Lin Xiaoxi used to make a lot of noise when she was on a plane, and the flight attendant's attempts to calm her down were useless, so she had to deal with it herself. It was very tiring every time she took Lin Xiaoxi on a plane. Now, with Lin Chen, she didn't have to worry about anything at all. Lin Chen was very capable, and he was also very, very patient. An hour and a half passed, and Lin Chen said, "Xiaoxi, let's play something else to rest our eyes. How about I give you a question and you answer it?" MMHM. Lin Xiaoxi nodded. Lin Chen began to ask Lin Xiaoxi questions. The noise in the cabin was not small, and Lu Feng and the others could not hear it. If they had heard it, they would have been shocked. Are these the kinds of questions a 3-year-old would do? More than an hour passed. The system voice suddenly sounded in Lin Chen's mind, "Host, your math skills have reached legendary level. A massive amount of information flooded into Lin Chen's mind. At the same time, Lin Xiaoqian's mathematical talent rapidly improved. Lin Xiaoqian's mathematical foundation talent was 40-odd, and after doubling it earlier, it had reached or nearly reached 90. Now that Lin Xiaoqian's mathematical talent has increased by another 40-odd, her mathematical talent should have reached 130. The limit of talent for a normal person is 100. Lin Xiaoqian's talent has reached 130, which is off the charts. There have been such people in human history, but they are extremely rare, and there may not be one in 100 years. And it's not just one industry, but all industries. Dad, that's weird. Lin Xiaoqian looked at Lin Chen with confusion. What's weird about it? Lin Chen asked with a smile. Lin Xiaoqian, the question has gotten easier. Just now I couldn't figure it out at all, but now I can. Lin Chen stroked Lin Xiaoqian's little head and smiled. Xiaoqian, it's not that the question has gotten easier, it's that you've studied hard and now you've become smarter. Dad, is that right? Lin Xiaoqian's eyes lit up. Lin Chen nodded, of course it is. The more we learn, the more we know, and the smarter we become. Lin Xiaoqian nodded. Lin Chen, Xiaoqian, you can't be proud either, it's useless for someone to be smart if they don't work hard. Dad, I will work hard. I want to be as good as you, Dad. Lin Xiaoqian said earnestly. Lin Chen continued to give Lin Xiaoqian problems to solve, and her talent continued to improve. He clearly sensed the changes in Lin Xiaoqian. Lin Xiaoqian's talent was originally very strong, and she learned quickly, but compared to now, she was still much worse. With her current talent, she would be able to finish middle school mathematics in less than a month, and not only textbook knowledge, but also all the knowledge of the middle school stage of the Olympic mathematics. This is too demonic. Luckily, I have improved even more. Lin Chen muttered to himself. His mathematical skills have reached legendary levels. This level has surpassed all mathematicians in the world. Some unsolved mathematical problems are no longer problems for him. The knowledge he has obtained includes many things. After teaching for a while, Lin Chen said, Shishi, not all children are as good as you. If other children are not as good as you, can you laugh at them? Lin Xiaoxi shook her head. Dad, no. It's not right to laugh at others. You're the best, Dad, and you don't tease others either. Lin Chen smiles, well, we shouldn't tease others, and we shouldn't show off either. You're good at something, and the other kids have their own strengths, right? Lin Xiaoqian nods. Xiaoqian, are you sleepy? Do you want to take a nap or keep folding paper airplanes? Lin Xiaoqian, Dad, I'm not sleepy now. I haven't finished folding the paper airplanes for Uncle Lu and the others. Before she knew it, the airplane had landed. Lin Xiaoxi did not fall asleep, and she had folded 6 paper airplanes. Uncle Lu, this is for you. Thank you for protecting us. Lin Xiaoxi said in a baby voice, and she gave the paper airplanes to Lu Feng and the others one by one. They were deeply moved. Cici is so good. Cici, you're amazing, the paper airplanes you folded are really beautiful. Lu Feng and the others praised her. Lin Xiaoxi was so cute that they were all melted. Chapter 258, a huge bonus. Lin Chen and the others left the airport and arrived at the hotel. Lin Chen was fine, but Su Mengyao and Lin Xiaoxi were tired, and they needed to rest and recover well so that they could go sightseeing and take photos with full energy tomorrow. Drip. Lin Chen's phone rang just as he finished checking in. The call was actually from Prince Haier. Prince Haier, what's the matter? Lin Chen asked after answering the phone. Prince Haier said on the other end of the line, Master Lin, the money for the drone has been transferred to your bank account. Lin Chen, let me check. He quickly checked his bank account and sure enough, the bank message indicated that more than 2.9 billion yuan had been transferred to his account. Together with the nearly 2 billion yuan that was already in his account, he now had nearly 5 billion yuan in his bank account. Even companies with a market value of hundreds of billions of yuan could not come up with 5 billion yuan. Even though Lin Chen's psychological quality is much higher now, he still has a rapid heartbeat when he sees that long list of numbers. Prince Haier, the money has indeed arrived. Lin Chen said with a smile. Haier on the other end of the phone said hesitantly, Master Lin, I have a difficult problem. Our country is in trouble, how soon can the drones be delivered? The soonest? Half a month. Lin Chen thought for a moment and said. Haier on the other end of the phone was stunned, half a month? Lin Chen originally said 1 month, which he felt was already exaggerated, but he didn't expect Lin Chen to be able to shorten it by half. Prince Hire, is it slow? If you need it faster, then you have to pay more. Lin Chen estimated that if he was paid enough to work overtime, he should be able to produce those drones in 10 days. Prince Hire hurriedly said, "No, it's not slow. But if it can be faster, that would be even better. If I add 20 million US dollars a day, how soon can you provide it?" Lin Chen was secretly amazed. This guy is a big spender. He's willing to pay an extra 20 million US dollars a day just to speed things up. The trouble facing the Camelot Kingdom doesn't seem to be small. Lin Chen muttered to himself. "Prince Hire, I need to ask you something." "Okay." After hanging up the phone, Lin Chen went into the bedroom. Lin Xiaoqian was asleep. She hadn't slept on the plane and was very sleepy now. "Wife, how soon can the 50,000 drones be built?" Lin Chen asked. Su Mengyao said doubtfully, "Honey, I told you, take your time. 20-odd days, half a month at the soonest." Lin Chen, is this the fastest speed of the production line? Or would the employees work overtime to produce faster? Su Mengyao explained, this is not the fastest speed of the production line. But in that case, the employees would have to work overtime for 3 hours every day, and they would have a lot of opinions if they were paid overtime. Lin Chen, if they have a problem with it, it's because they haven't been paid enough. If you give them a bonus of 10 million yuan for every day they finish early, how many days do you think they can finish early? Su Mengyao was stunned. 10 million yuan for every day they finish early? The drone company has a large number of employees, but if you divide 10 million yuan equally, each person can get several thousand yuan every day. Who would have a problem with a few thousand yuan in overtime pay a day? 10 days. Honey, if there's such a big bonus, 10 days should be possible. Su Mengyao considered for a moment before replying. Lin Chen nodded, "Wife, you tell the employees to work at full speed. The bonus is 10 million for every day ahead of schedule on top of the half month's work. All of this bonus will be divided among them in due course." Prince Hire gave him 20 million, or US dollars. But he could not possibly give this much money to the employees. The vast majority of the value of those drones was created by him. The bonus he gave was already very generous, and if he gave any more, the company's salary system would be destroyed. The employees of the rest of the Su Group's branches would also have a problem with it. Su Mengyao nodded. She quickly passed down the order. She directly said that the total bonus would be 10 million for every day ahead of schedule. Our company has nearly 2,000 employees, right? If it's divided equally, that's 5,000 per day? It's unlikely to be divided equally, but even if it's not, 2,000 per day is still not a small sum. Let's do it. The entire company's employees were like on steroids. They didn't actually hate working overtime. What they hated was not being rewarded for their efforts. Lin Chen sighed. He told Hire that it would take an estimated 10 days, or 11 days to complete, and Hire could arrange for a transport aircraft to send them back first thing in time. "Hubby, Prince Hire actually wants it so urgently, it seems that the situation over there is a bit dangerous. Will there be a problem selling them?" Su Mengyao was a little worried. Lin Chen smiled and said, "My dear, don't worry. The situation may be a bit tense, but there shouldn't be any major problems. Those fire-starting sticks from the Camel Kingdom are not just for show. Besides, we're only selling civilian drones. As for what they do with them in the future, that's none of our business. They're responsible for any modifications they make." Su Mengyao nodded and changed the subject. "Honey, the photographer will be here in a while. I've hired a photographer from here. You can see how good their skills are, and if they're not good enough, we can hire someone else." Okay. It wasn't long before the photographer arrived. This photographer was a middle-aged man in his 40s. Lin Chen exchanged tips on photography with him. Lin Chen's photography skills were at the master level. "Mr. Lin, you're amazing. Your photography skills are much higher than mine." Photography Chen Lei exclaimed in awe. Lin Chen laughed lightly, "No matter how amazing I am, I can't take the photos. Brother Chen, I'm going to trouble you for the next few days. You should know the best places to go." Chen Lei's photography skills are still very good, there is no need to change. "Mr. Lin, don't worry, I will do my best," Chen Lei quickly said. Su Mengyao gave more money to Lin Chen, and since Lin Chen was so knowledgeable, he dared not neglect him or fool him. Speed up production? Pan Jia quickly got the news. She was a bit confused. The drone company of the Su Group is called Star Dream Technology. If Star Dream Technology has lost a large order, why would it speed up production? As far as she knows, there aren't many remaining orders for Xingmeng Technology. If they speed up production like this, won't their inventory quickly increase? After thinking about it, Pan Jia made a phone call. Master Song, I have a question for you. Did the Song family help Xingmeng Technology, a subsidiary of the Su Group? On the other end of the line was Song Shikong. He was the second son of the Song family, but he preferred to be called Master Song by others. Song Shikong was puzzled. Why do you ask? Our Song family doesn't have any business in drones. Pan Jia said, Master Song, to be honest, I lost them a big order. Logically, they should have slowed down production when they suddenly had fewer orders on hand. But they actually accelerated production. And they offered a very high bonus. Song Shikong said, I'll ask around for you, but I don't think so. I still have a lot of people inside the Song family, and I would have known if there was such a thing. Master Song, it just happened. Please ask around. Pan Jia said politely. Song Shikong, well, if there is, I will try my best to stop it. After hanging up the phone, Pan Jia arrived at the company. She went to Zhang Qingshan's office. Zhang Qingshan had also learned about Xingmeng Technology. President Zhang, that move alone may not be enough. I think we need a new move against Xingmeng Technology. Pan Jia said in a low voice. Zhang Qingshan, what good idea do you have? Pan Jia, we spread negative news, poach their people, and make their shareholders abandon Xingmeng Technology. Chapter 259, Shares in Star Dream Technology. Zhang Qingshan frowned and said, Star Dream Technology is now one of the most important subsidiaries of the Su Group, contributing a lot of profits. Will they give it up? Pan Jia said, Zhang, things are different now. The development of Star Dream Technology is thanks to the war in the past 2 or 3 years. And it's getting more and more involved now. Our Tianhe Group has also entered the fray, and we have the overseas capital giant Vite family behind us. What ability does the Su family have to compete with us? Shares are only valuable when they are sold during a period of good momentum. When Starry Dream Technology really fails, who will buy the shares they want to sell? Zhang Qingshan nodded slightly. Pan Jia wasn't entirely wrong. General Zhang, business competition is very cruel. We have invested a lot of money, and we have to get a share of the cake. I still have a way out. At worst, I will go abroad. Do you Zhang family have a way out once you get on board? Zhang Qingshan's face changed slightly. The Zhang family had not been having a good time in the past 2 months. He analyzed the reasons and concluded that it might have something to do with the Su family and Lin Chen. He had had some run-ins with the Su family and Lin Chen. Even if Lin Chen and the Su family did not target them, some people might silently distance themselves from the Zhang family. This would definitely affect the Zhang family's business. Lin Chen and the Song family had also become close behind, and Zhang Qingshan considered it again and again and decided to curry favor with them, otherwise their lives would be even more difficult in the future. So when Pan Jia approached him, he agreed. The Pan family has billions of euros in assets and is very powerful. Moreover, there is the even more powerful Vetter family behind them. I will contact some people. Zhang Qingshan said in a low voice. He had no choice but to choose this path. If it works out, the Zhang family can break into the international market. They will become even stronger. If it doesn't work out, there will be heavy losses. At that time, they may face even greater pressure. The Zhang family may even collapse and become nothing. General Zhang, you can do it. As long as we work together, the future will definitely be bright. Pan Jia said with a smile. After saying that, Pan Jia backed out. She had the ideas, but the actual implementation was still something that Zhang Qingshan was better at. She was inexperienced and might mess things up. Zhang Qingshan pondered. Soon he had someone pass on the news discreetly. Xingmeng Technology had lost a large order of 100,000 frames. This order was snatched by Tianhe Group. This newly established Tianhe Group is really gaining momentum. According to hearsay, despite losing such a large order, the president of Su's group is still going on a trip to Xinjiang with her husband. Nowadays, is Starry Dream Technology working overtime just for show? Is Su's group planning to sell Starry Dream Technology? All kinds of negative comments have popped up on the internet. Su Guofeng quickly got the news. His eyes flashed with a strange light. Which good person is helping them? With Lin Chen's technology, he keenly judged that Starry Dream technology definitely has a very good future. But there are quite a few people on this bus now. Dream Technology is a subsidiary of the Su Group, and as the parent company, the Su Group holds 51% of the shares. The other 49% of the shares are divided as follows: 24% are in the hands of Su Mengyao, and 25% are in the hands of other people. For example, the boss of the drone company acquired in the past. In the past, the Su family of the Su Group held 51% of the shares, and the Su family indirectly held about 26% of the shares of Dream Technology through the parent company. Together with Meng Yao Su's 24%, that only amounts to 50%. After the Zhao family withdrew, the Su family's group shareholding increased slightly. Today, the Su family's direct and indirect shareholding in Star Dream Technology barely amounts to 51%. To make a compromise, absolute control is needed. It has to reach 67%. The Su family indirectly holds a 27% stake, and together with Meng Yao's 24%, that only amounts to 51%. Su Guofeng muttered to himself. If the other shareholders firmly support them, he will not force anyone to get off the bus, but if anyone wants to get off the bus halfway, Su Guofeng will not try to stop them. Drip. Su Guofeng dialed Su Mengyao's phone number. Meng Yao, there are comments on the internet targeting Starry Dream Technology. Su Mengyao, Dad, I just read them. And just now, some shareholders already contacted me to ask about the situation. Su Guofeng said, "What did you say?" Su Mengyao, naturally, I reassured them that the company is operating normally and that they don't need to worry too much. Su Guofeng asked, "What did you say about the company working overtime?" Dad, I told the truth. I can't hide the company's situation from the shareholders. As for who my husband bought it from and sold it to, that's confidential customer information, and I definitely won't tell anyone. Su Mengyao said. Su Guofeng, maybe we can take this opportunity to buy back some of the shares. Ask Lin Shenzhen if he's interested. Okay, I'll ask him. Su Mengyao said. In another place, an executive was walking around. Lao Huang, what are you doing? The executive's wife asked. Xingming Technology lost a large order of 100,000 units. Mr. Su's husband bought 50,000 units to solve the urgent problem. Do you think Xingming Technology will go downhill in the future? Huang's eyes showed concern. He used to be the boss of a drone company. After the company was acquired, he received a portion of the funds and also obtained 6% of the shares of Star Dream Technology. In the past 2 or 3 years, the domestic economy has been in a downturn, and the portion of funds he received has lost most of its value. However, the valuation of Star Dream Technology is nearly 10 billion yuan, and his 6% stake is worth much more than before. Huang, do you want to sell those shares? Huang's wife asked. Mr. Huang nodded, he did have such plans. If the international situation improves, or competition intensifies, it could lead to a lower valuation of the company. It would be difficult to sell at that time. His wife said, will it continue to develop? Mr. Huang considered, the possibility is decreasing. First, there is DJI above them, and DJI is too strong. Second, more and more capital is entering the drone industry nowadays. For example, the Tianhe Group has extremely strong backing. Su Mengyao is entering the market at the perfect time, but her true strength is difficult to compete with those capital giants. Huang's wife, Lao Huang, I read online that Xingmeng Technology is still working overtime. And they are offering high bonuses. Huang, maybe there are urgent needs from foreign customers. But these 50,000 aircraft will be completed soon, so what happens next? Will there be any more orders? Huang's wife, Lao Huang, the company is facing trouble, so if you withdraw at this time, won't that be a bit unkind? Unkind? It's just business. President Huang said, I'll ask President Su if he wants it. Given our family situation, I can't continue to take risks with her. President Huang's wife nodded slightly. It's better to be safe than sorry. Chapter 260, Scrambling to Transfer Shares. President Huang, whose name is Huang Bin, called Su Mengyao. Su Mengyao is already a shareholder of Starry Dream Technology, and internal transfers do not require the consent of other shareholders if Su Mengyao buys them. What is it, Mr. Huang? Su Mengyao asked, quickly connecting the call. Huang Bin said, Su, it's like this. I'm getting old and don't have the fighting spirit of young people like you anymore. I want to sell my shares in the company. Do you want them? Su Mingyao's eyes lit up. This disturbance from Tianhe Group actually had such an effect. The Su family doesn't have much liquid capital, and if there are many people who want to sell, they may not be able to buy it all. But she knew that Lin Chen had billions of dollars in cash. Moreover, outsiders don't think that Star Dream technology can definitely rise to the top, but she now has very strong confidence in this. It is definitely a happy event for others to sell their shares to her. President Huang, now that the company is operating without problems, it would be good if you hold the shares and make more money in the future, wouldn't it? Su Mengyao asked. She couldn't act too eager, and she even had to act like she didn't want to take it over, otherwise if she took over one company, she was afraid it wouldn't be so easy to take back the rest. President Su, I'm getting old. I'd rather take the money and live comfortably, for peace of mind. Huang Bin said. Su Mengyao persuaded Huang Bin, President Huang, you have to believe in the future of the company. There are some rumors going around the company right now, but these are just minor problems. As long as we stick together, we can overcome them. Huang Bin, President Su, I'm sorry. I insist on withdrawing. If you don't want me, President Su, I'll find someone else. Su Mengyao said after a long silence, Mr. Huang, everyone has their own aspirations. Since you are so insistent, I can't say anything. What price do you want to transfer your shares for? Huang Bin, Su, the current valuation of Starry Dream Technology is 9 billion. My 6% stake is worth 540 million according to this valuation. The company is still developing, so how about a 30% premium? Su Mengyao said, when a company is developing rapidly, it is normal to have a premium on financing. Now it is no longer a period of rapid development, and the industry is very competitive. This premium of yours is going to put me in a difficult position. You should ask the other shareholders and see if they are willing to take over. Mr. Huang, it's getting late today, let's talk tomorrow. After saying this, Su Mengyao hung up the computer. Huang Bin was worried. His wife came out of the shower and saw him smoking. Huang, what's the deal? Did you talk to the Su family? Huang Bin shook his head. I said a 30% premium, but President Su told me to find someone else. I found 2 people, but they both refused. Huang, you're confused. If you were Su Mengyao, would you agree? Da Jiang is in control, blocking all kinds of patents, and it's very difficult for other drone companies to break through. You even called other people. They might not have had any ideas in the first place, but now that you've done it, they might want to do it too. Huang Bin's wife complained. Huang Bin took a deep drag on his cigarette. This is all we have, and I'm still thinking about selling for a good price. Maybe someone will be willing to pay more for a stake? Huang Bin's wife said, it would be good if we could get the valuation. You remember, don't you, Mr. He? Their company was previously valued at 5 billion, and he offered 1 billion, but no one wanted it. That's different. Their company has a lot of assets, and many of the equipment assets were valued at their original cost, when in reality they are not worth that much. Xingming Technology is a high-tech enterprise with good momentum of development. Huang Bin explained. Huang Bin's wife, if it really develops extremely well, as soon as an order for 100,000 is lost, a new order will immediately come in. And you won't be thinking about selling your shares. You're offering a 30% premium, and someone else might even sell at a discount. How much money can the Su family come up with to buy the shares? The Su family will benefit the most if they take over the company. They are most likely to offer a high price. Who else will spend that kind of money? Huang Bin's face changed slightly. Then I'll call Su Mengyao again. Soon he dialed the phone number. While Su Mengyao was on the phone, Lin Chen dialed her number. 1 minute, 2 minutes. Huang Bin dialed every minute. 10 minutes passed, and he finally got through to Su Mengyao. Mr. Huang, let's talk about it tomorrow. Su Mengyao said. Huang Bin, Su, I've thought about it. The company is under a lot of pressure right now, and it wouldn't be appropriate for me to pay such a high premium. How about a 10% premium? Mr. Huang, you should just keep your shares. The company might take off in the next few years, and you'll regret selling your shares. Su Mengyao said. Huang Bin's face changed. Could it be that Su Mengyao had just been approached by another shareholder and had already accepted their offer? Su Mengyao said that the company would take off in the next few years. This kind of pie-in-the-sky talk is good for fooling children, but he is not buying it. President Su, I will pay the valuation. Our company is still developing, so I can pay the valuation, right? Huang Bin hurriedly said. Su Mengyao was silent for a moment and said, President Huang, if you pay the valuation, I will consider it. How about I give you a definite answer when I get back? I will definitely be back within a week. Huang Bin thought to himself, I can't wait a week. Maybe the other shareholders will sell at a discount, and if so, Su Mengyao won't want to buy from him at the original price. President Su, if I'm hiding something in my heart, I won't be able to sleep well at night. Look, tomorrow morning, can't we just settle this? Although you're not here, you can delegate someone else. Your father is also in the Magic City. Huang Bin said. Su Mengyao sighed, Mr. Huang, it seems that you are determined to withdraw. Go see my father tomorrow. Just sign an agreement to sell and agree on a liquidated damages clause. We can discuss the official transfer of shares when I get back. If you are afraid that we will change our mind, set the liquidated damages clause at a high level. Please keep this confidential and don't tell anyone else. Huang Bin quickly said, okay. Sorry to bother you, Mr. Su. He let out a sigh of relief after hanging up the phone. It was pretty good to be able to sell at the current valuation. His original drone company was worth only 400 million to 500 million yuan, and he had received 300 million yuan plus 6% of the shares. With 300 million yuan plus 540 million yuan, he had made a profit. Even if the 300 million yuan had been lost, the shares would be worth more than the original 400 million to 500 million yuan if sold. Wife, the deal is done. I will go to see Chairman Su tomorrow to sign the agreement, and we will sign the formal share transfer agreement when Chairman Su returns. Don't tell anyone else, so as to avoid complications. Huang Bin said to his wife. His wife nodded, Huang, you go early tomorrow. Tonight, you prepare the agreement you want. Okay. Huang Bin nodded. It's better to take the money and go. Many industries are not doing well these days. A good company this year may go bankrupt next year. Not long after Huang Bin agreed, Su Mengyao received another call from a man who owned 4% of the shares. Together with Huang Bin, they owned 10%, which was quite a lot. He also agreed to sell his shares at the current valuation. Before that, he had asked some of the others, and no one was willing to take over at the current valuation. The Su family has more shares than they do, and they have no say in the matter. It's not a period of rapid development, and they don't want to take that risk. Honey, what do you think? Lin Chen asked. He was already in bed, and Su Mengyao entered the bedroom. Two families have been taken care of. Together, they have 10% of the shares. Honey, you take these shares when the time comes. Su Mengyao said. Lin Chen smiled and said, Honey, you go to bed first and come over here. I'll hold you while you sleep.